the school beauty's personal bodyguard. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 851, The more you treat it, the worse it gets. Yes, but I can tell you the principle behind it, Medicine King said. Have you heard of Truki? In this world, besides ordinary people like us, there are also some practitioners who can use Truki. Of course I've heard of this. A relative of Zhen's is also a Xuan level master. Zhen Dazhao nodded, but there was a bit of bragging in it. The Xuan level master was not a relative of his family at all, but someone he had hired to deal with an enemy. It was just a relationship of interest. Well, it's easy now that you've heard of it, the Medicine King continued. Lin Yi used his true key to seal Zhen Yingzhen's meridians, causing blockages in the meridians, so this situation has occurred. It looks like a sequelae of a stroke, but in fact it is not. It's more complicated than a stroke. I see. Zhen Dazhao became even more nervous after listening to the Medicine King's explanation. Then how can it be cured? This can only be resolved one by one with my acupuncture and my true key. But this consumes a lot of my skills, and it can't be cured overnight, so the process is also more complicated. The Medicine King sighed and said, to be honest, this patient is not easy to take on. Medicine King, you must save the child. If you don't care, what will happen to Yingzhen in the future? Although the crooked mouth and lame leg do not affect his life, it will make people laugh at him if he goes out. Zhen Dazhao was anxious. The medical fees can be negotiated. Please do me a favor, because Lin Yi and I have a grudge, and your son is the first patient I'm seeing. I'm reluctantly treating him, the Medicine King said, but let's agree beforehand. I'm not a charity. I'll charge a fee. Let's set it at 1 million per visit. Okay, Zhen Dazhao nodded hurriedly. 1 million per visit didn't seem like much. His son's condition was too complicated, even 10 million wouldn't be enough for anyone else. Okay, since you agree, today I'll transfer the vital energy within your son's body. From his legs to his hands, from his mouth to his ears. This will result in only one crooked ear and one hand being disabled. From the outside, he'll look normal. As for the ears and hands, I'll slowly resolve them, the Medicine King said. Okay, that's perfect. Zhen Dazhao was delighted to hear that the vital energy could be transferred, making them less noticeable. That was great. His ears and hands could slowly recover, and as long as he looked normal, that was all that mattered. Okay, since you agree, I'll begin the treatment now. The Medicine King nodded, took out his silver needles, and prepared to begin the treatment. In reality, Lin Yi had only imposed a minor punishment. He hadn't intended to create a difficult-to-diagnose illness, so the Medicine King could easily resolve it. What the Medicine King called a transfer was simply healing Zhen Yingzhen's mouth and legs, then using the same method to seal the meridians around his ears and hands. It seemed like a transfer, but in reality, it was simply creating an opportunity for him to make money again. Otherwise, this 1 million wouldn't be enough. The Medicine King had set a goal, to squeeze at least 10 million out of Zhen Yingzhen. Soon, under the Medicine King's acupuncture, Zhen Yingzhen's mouth and legs returned to normal, leaving him deaf in one ear and numb in one hand. However, these ailments were hidden, invisible from the outside. Zhen Yingzhen and Zhen Dazhao were naturally grateful to the Medicine King. After paying the consultation fee and agreeing on a time for their next visit, they happily left. Watching the Zhen father and son depart, Zhao Kaibing sneered, "You two fools, just waiting to give me money, young Master Bing. I've tentatively decided to get 10 million from the Zhen father and son. What do you think?" Medicine King told Zhao Kaibing his idea. 10 million? So little. Zhao Kaibing frowned. I heard Zhen Dazhao is very rich, with assets exceeding 100 million. I should at least get half of that, right? 50 million, hiss. Medicine King was startled, thinking to himself, young Master Bing is really ruthless. He's even more ruthless than himself. 10 million seemed like a lot to him, but young Master Bing actually asked for 50 million right out of the blue? But Medicine King couldn't understand how Zhen Yingzhen, with such a small flaw, could be worth 50 million. He couldn't help but ask, young Master Bing, 1 million this time, 10 million 10 times, that's enough, right? Are you stupid? Zhao Kaibing glared at him. When you treat him, won't you cause some other problems? This shouldn't be a difficult task for you, right? Do I need to teach you? It's obvious that Zhen Yingzhen is a guy who indulges in everything from alcohol and women. If you make him impotent, will he pay a large sum of money to help? Or if you're afraid of suspicion, then just get Zhen Dazhao and make that old guy's sexual function fail. I know, young Master Bing, the Medicine King was enlightened when he heard what Zhao Kaibing said. He thought to himself, a black-hearted doctor like himself is not as black-hearted as young Master Bing. Young Master Bing is simply too black-hearted. The news that Zhen Yingjin had a strange disease was known to almost all the celebrities in Songshan City. It caused a lot of commotion at the time. Zhen Dazhao entrusted Zhu Xiandi to look for doctors everywhere. This was no secret. However, the news that Zhen Yingjin's disease was cured by a newly emerged Medicine King Zhao shocked these people greatly. In the past, everyone in Songshan City knew that Guan Zuman was a miracle doctor, but they didn't expect that there would be another Zhao Yao Wang who seemed to be even better than Guan Zuman. Because everyone had seen Zhen Yingjin's situation, with a crooked mouth and lame legs, and he had been to the hospital for a checkup, but there was no way to cure him. However, after Zhao Yao Wang gave him a few injections, a miracle happened. Zhen Yingjin's legs were no longer lame, and his mouth was no longer crooked. As for his deafness and numbness in his hands, Zhen Dazhao was unwilling to tell anyone, only saying that his son was healed. This actually served as an advertisement for Zhao Yao Wang. All of a sudden, everyone knew that there was a Zhao Yao Wang in Songshan City, whose medical skills were very superb, even better than Guan the miraculous doctor. As a result, Zhao Yao Wang's reputation became a hit. In the future, when wealthy celebrities want to see a doctor, the first person they think of is Medicine King Zhao. After all, Medicine King Zhao has a precedent of cures, and Zhen Yingjin is indeed alive and well now. Lin Yi was the first to know the news through Fatty Lai and Guan Zuman, but Lin Yi did not care. Zhao Kaibing started to make money by treating illnesses, and it had nothing to do with Lin Yi. As for whether Zhen Yingjin was cured, Lin Yi didn't care. Lin Yi didn't intend to put Zhen Yingjin to death, so if he was cured, he was cured. Chapter 852 is sick. There are only 3 chapters today. I persisted with 5 updates a day for a month last month, and I kept going until the beginning of this month. I finally gave up. I've had a cold for days, and I haven't had time to go to the hospital, so I've been taking cold medicine. Today, I finally gave up. I'm now feverish and sweating profusely. I've managed to write 3 chapters. You may have noticed that since the end of last month, my updates have been getting later and later. It's also because of the cold, which has made my head spin and thoughts sluggish. I'm not very satisfied with the chapters I've written. I've been working on them until 9 p.m., when the nearby clinics have closed. I thought some medicine would be enough, but it's so cold at home, and the more I try, the worse it gets. It looks like I'll have to get an IV drip tomorrow. Thank you to all my readers who have always supported me. I've tried my best to write and bring you wonderful novels, but my health has always been poor, and the cold always finds me when winter comes. It's really painful. Readers who are anxious can check out Very Pure and Ambiguous Prequel, one of my earlier works, which has already been completed. Thanks again. Readers of the website can vote for recommendations, and readers of mobile phones can vote for flowers. After Yu Ren recovers from his illness, he will continue to bring you wonderful novels. Chapter 853 Ask for a spokesperson. I don't know what Zhao Kaibing is up to. Has he learned your tricks from seeing you making money treating illnesses? Fatty Lai asked, somewhat curiously. He's probably lost a lot of money recently, and since he's not taking the initiative in the shantytown demolition, he probably won't make much money either. So, it's understandable that he's looking for other ways to make money. Lin Yi probably guessed Zhao Kaibing's intentions. That so-called Medicine King does have some methods of treating illnesses, but it's a matter of willing players, and it has nothing to do with us. Yeah, then, forget about him. It has nothing to do with us for now. Fatty Lai nodded. No matter how Zhao Kaibing acted, as long as he didn't provoke Lin Yi, it didn't matter. Lin Yi simply laughed it off, because he had more important things to do. The first batch of products from Guanshenye Pharmaceutical Company was about to be launched. Let's not talk about him. Didn't you call me here to discuss the product launch? Lin Yi had been quite free these past few days. Tang Yun's family situation had been resolved, and it was unclear whether Zhong Pinliang and Xuanyuan had been discharged from the hospital. Zhao Kaibing had also quieted down considerably. Zhu Ruiming was even more fawning towards Lin Yi at school than he would be to his own father, which had given Lin Yi a few days of relief. Besides accompanying his eldest daughter and Xiao Shu to and from school, and seeing Tang Yun during breaks, His days were peaceful and leisurely. This was the life Lin Yi longed for, a life free from conflict, where he could protect the one he loved and quietly savor every moment of life. Lin Yi didn't know how long this life would last, but if possible, he hoped it would last forever. While the tranquility of life had made Lin Yi feel at ease, a constant sense of vigilance remained within him. Yukon had returned. After all, Lin Yi always felt a sense of danger after letting the tiger go back to the mountains. It was just that there had been no movement from the Yu family for the time being. As for Zhao Kaibing, Lin Yi didn't believe he'd just let it go. Who knew if he'd come up with some bizarre trick to deal with him? Yes, our first batch of trauma medicine is ready to go, Fatty Lai said. However, we didn't hold any ceremony when we opened our company. Although Guanshenyu Pharmaceuticals is quite well known, a new product launch still requires a product launch. A launch? That complicated? Lin Yi didn't think launching a product required such a complicated process. Yes, it's just a way to showcase the company's strength, just like the Kaibing real estate company's building completion ceremony. Fatty Lai was an expert in business, so he spoke with great clarity. It's just that we ruined their completion ceremony, is that so? Then you decide. Lin Yi felt that he, the hands-off boss, was really not doing his job well. He knew nothing about business. Without Fatty Lai, a younger brother he'd met, it would have been difficult for him and Guan Zuman to keep the company going. Okay, then I've decided, Fatty Lai nodded. Because our company has already built up enough hype, now is the perfect time to go public. Once our product hits the market, there'll be a lot of free media hype for us. However, according to past practices, many companies usually invite celebrities to new product launches to boost publicity. Celebrity? Do you know any? Lin Yi wasn't particularly interested in celebrities and didn't watch much TV. To him, celebrities weren't as cute as the girls at home. No, Fatty Lai said with a wry smile. But money talks. As long as we're willing to pay, it's easy to hire a spokesperson. Oh, then you decide, Lin Yi said nonchalantly with a shrug. So, boss, do you have any good candidates? Fatty Lai knew that many manufacturers use celebrities to endorse their products not only to boost product popularity, but also because many of the company's owners are fans of the celebrity. So Fatty Lai wanted to ask Lin Yi which celebrity he liked. Who? Lin Yi was stunned. He didn't know any celebrities, so how could he possibly name one? But he suddenly thought of a name. Is there a star named Su Shihan? Lin Yi remembered that he had bought Su Shihan's album from Miss Nzioshu, and he also saw Miss Nzioshu watching her concert in the villa. She was a very attractive young girl jumping around on the stage, but he didn't know if she would still look good after taking off her makeup. Ah, yes, Fatty Lai was surprised when he heard the name, and then nodded. Boss, Su Shihan is a first-line idol in the music industry. Fatty Lai calculated in his mind how much it would cost to invite Su Shihan to be the spokesperson. Su Shihan is currently very popular, and many middle school students are her fans. Her worth and conditions must be very high. But since it was Lin Yi who proposed it, Fatty Lai didn't say anything. He just did his best. Oh, then invite her. Lin Yi didn't think Su Shihan was anything special, and didn't take it seriously. He'd heard that Miss Nzioshu and Tang Yun were all her fans, so he just wanted to have them over to cheer them up. As for Lin Yi himself, he'd never really seen a celebrity, let alone a fan. Okay, I'll do my best, Fatty Lai nodded, taking note. Then he said, by the way, boss, will you be attending the product launch? Me? Forget it, Lin Yi shook his head. This pharmaceutical company had originally been started as a hobby, a way for Lin Yi to earn some pocket money. But as his friendship with Miss Nzioshu grew, Lin Yi no longer felt like a dependent, though he wasn't sure if it even counted as friendship. Miss didn't look down on him anymore, and besides, she wasn't a money person. Therefore, the pharmaceutical company is now being run as a public welfare undertaking. It's unlikely to make a profit in the short term, and the drug prices are relatively low, completely competing with Dr. Kang's Golden Chuang medicine. Fatty Lai knew Lin Yi was a low-key person, so he had asked the same question before. He didn't force Lin Yi to participate, but continued, boss, here's how I've arranged things for Kang Xiaobo and Xiafan. Is that okay with you? You decide. Lin Yi opened this pharmaceutical company for Kang Xiaobo and Xiafan. He didn't have many friends, and Kang Xiaobo was one of them, so Lin Yi would do his best to help him. Chapter 854, Scam Company. Kang Xiaobo, I've assigned him the position of interim vice president of the company, primarily responsible for marketing, Fatty Lai said. The current executive vice president of marketing is a friend of mine, and he's just here to help. With him guiding Kang Xiaobo, I believe it won't be long before he's ready. Okay, you arrange it. Lin Yi was somewhat surprised by Fatty Lai's thorough arrangement. As for Xiaofen, I'll initially assign her to the quality inspection department. However, the position of quality inspection manager is currently vacant. Once Xiaofen becomes familiar with the business, it won't be too late to assign her the position of manager, Fatty Lai explained. You've thought it through very carefully. Lin Yi was a classic example of nepotism, but neither Kang Xiaobo nor Xiaofen would let their connections become presumptuous. Although Kang Xiaobo was Lin Yi's junior, wasn't the general manager, Fatty Lai, also Lin Yi's junior? With Kang Xiaobo's grades, he couldn't possibly get into any university. If he did, it would be a third-rate institution. It wasn't because he didn't study hard, but rather because Kang Xiaobo wasn't as talented as the eldest daughter or Chen Yushu, and he wasn't very shrewd. So, even with his efforts, he only managed to achieve a middling standard. While First High School was a good school, not all of its students could get into a prestigious university. Those with connections, like Kang Xiaobo, could find a way to attend a prestigious university through favors or financial help, but those without connections or money could only attend an ordinary, third-rate institution. Kang Xiaobo had recently come to terms with his situation and decided to give up his studies to focus on company management. He could then get into a third-rate university and, once the company achieved success, get an MBA or something like that, a promising career path. His parents had clearly figured it out. What was the point of all the hard work and effort? Wasn't it just to get a good job in the future? Now he has a job, and he's directly promoted to vice president. Nowadays, even if you're a returned overseas PhD, without experience and connections, you won't be given a vice president position directly. After Lin Yi left, Fatty Lai began looking for connections and channels. The contact information of those artists in the entertainment industry might be very confidential to ordinary people, but it's not the case for these wealthy businessmen. Because they always organize events and look for endorsements, those entertainment companies are willing to cooperate with them. Fatty Lai quickly found the entertainment company that Su Shihan belonged to and contacted Su Shihan's agent. It's undeniable that the agents of superstars like Su Shihan are quite arrogant. He answered the phone and demanded directly and urgently, "Who are you? What's going on?" This manner of address made Fatty Lai frown, but he still patiently replied, "Hello, I'm from a company and would like to collaborate with Ms. Su Shihan." Upon hearing that Fatty Lai was from a company, the agent softened his tone somewhat, though still maintaining a cold attitude. "Which company are you from? What's your strength? What do you want to collaborate with, Ms. Su? An event or a product endorsement?" It's no wonder the agent was so cold. Su Shihan was being harassed by so many people these days that the agent couldn't be more annoyed. Without confirming the caller's identity, he absolutely wouldn't take it lightly. "Hello, I'm Lai Chang'ai, General Manager of Guanshenye Pharmaceutical Company. I'm looking for Ms. Su Shihan to endorse our products and attend a new product launch." Fatty Lai recognized the agent's decisiveness, so he didn't waste any time and stated his purpose directly. Guanshen Doctor Pharmaceutical Company. The other party was obviously stunned, and then asked, "Is it Guanzuman's company?" "Yes, Guanshen Doctor is Guanzuman." Fatty Lai nodded. It seems that the other party knows his company? Guanzuman's company, isn't it a scam company? What Guanshen Doctor, he is just a liar. The agent's tone suddenly became bad, and before Fatty Lai could say anything, he hung up the phone with a bang. Beep beep beep. Fatty Lai held the phone receiver with a busy tone, feeling a little amused. How did Guanzuman become a scam? How did his own company become a scam company? When did he offend Su Shihan's agent? "Sister Wang, why are you talking so loudly? Why are you calling me a liar?" A voice like the sound of nature echoed from behind Sister Wang. A girl in a bathrobe, her skin fair and translucent with a slight blush, walked over. She looked like a fairy just out of the bath, her hair still wet and carefree. Her pretty face was not a trace of powder or rouge, but she was still very charming. She was Su Shihan, the superstar with countless fans and the idol of many middle school and college students. However, at this moment, she did not have the airs of a big star at all. Like a playful girl, she walked behind her agent and bent down to check her phone, wanting to see who she had called before. "Xiaohun, are you feeling better?" Sister Wang changed her previous cold attitude, and a look of concern appeared on her face. She turned to look at Su Shihan. "It's okay, I'm fine." Su Shihan shook her head and smiled sweetly. "Sister Wang, you don't have to worry about me. By the way, you haven't told me yet what happened earlier. Also, Sister Wang, why have you been so grumpy lately? You're always so cold when you answer the phone." "It's not me who's cold, it's some entertainment reporters who keep calling pretending to be fans and collaborators, prying into this and that. It's really annoying me." Sister Wang sighed. "Looks like I'll have to change my phone number soon. Too many people know this number, but what if they're really calling about collaborating?" Su Shihan nodded and asked. "I can tell whether it's a collaboration or not with just a few words. Some people are just looking for fun because they have a lot of money. Ziyahan is not that kind of person. If you want to hook up with a celebrity, find someone else." Sister Wang had been a manager for several years and had developed a keen eye. The companies that could really afford to work with Su Shihan were well-known large companies, not some small, unknown company. "Oh, so the phone call just now meant that you didn't want to cooperate." Su Shihan knew that Sister Wang was doing it for her own good, so she was not annoyed. She lost her mother when she was young and had always depended on Sister Wang from her neighborhood. Whenever she was bullied, Sister Wang was there to protect her. Chapter 855 The Big Star's Strange Disease. When she grew up and entered the entertainment industry, it was Sister Wang who acted as her manager, shielding her from all odds. So, although Sister Wang wasn't her biological sister, Su Shihan treated her like one. Now that she was earning her own money, Su Shihan always split it in two, with one portion going to Sister Wang. Although Sister Wang didn't want it, Su Shihan insisted. "No, it's a scam company." Sister Wang shook her head. "It's that pharmaceutical company run by that genius Dr. Guan Zuman. They've been hyping it up on TV and in the newspapers lately, but they're just a scam." "Haha," Su Shihan said, smiling helplessly. "Sister Wang, Dr. Guan is an expert in the medical field. How could you be a scammer? If he's not a scammer, why can't he cure you? I've been on acupuncture for so long, and there's no improvement." "And they said it could be cured," Sister Wang said dismissively. "That's not true. So many hospitals haven't been able to cure it either. It's just that my illness is a bit strange." Su Shihan didn't think Guan Zuman was a scam. After all, her own case was too complicated. Forget it. We have to be conscientious when endorsing companies. If they can't even cure your illness, how can you call yourself a miracle doctor? I can't let you lie with your eyes open, can I?" Sister Wang said nonchalantly. Su Shihan couldn't help but smile and shook her head after hearing Sister Wang's words. "It's not like there aren't celebrities like this. There are a lot of fake endorsements these days. I should call Mr. Guan and apologize. He was very attentive when he treated me." "Whatever, why bother with such a big liar?" Sister Wang was a person with a clear distinction between love and hate, and a very strong personality, unlike Su Shihan, who was pure and innocent, without any complicated thoughts. However, if someone like Su Shihan didn't have Sister Wang as her agent to protect her, she would definitely suffer. Su Shihan smiled faintly, picked up the phone, found the number, and called Guan Zuman, but the phone was turned off. Su Shihan could only put the matter aside for the time being. Fatty Lai hadn't been able to recruit Su Shihan, so he immediately called Lin Yi to inform her. However, Lin Yi didn't take the matter seriously. Hearing that Su Shihan's agent was very arrogant, he simply gave up on finding a spokesperson. And Xuanyuan had been having a hard time recently, the pressure from his family and the Fire Wolf Gang making him feel a bit suffocated. Fortunately, before the collapse of the kidney harvesting group, Xuanyuan had made a lot of money for his family and the Fire Wolf Gang. Although Xuanyuan's brother, Jian, had been in charge of organ trafficking in Songshan, he hadn't suffered any problems. However, because he was selling kidneys for money, the transaction volume was relatively small and the costs were relatively high. Therefore, his annual profits were not as much as Xuanyuan's month-long profits. This is also the reason why the Fire Wolf Gang and the Yen family didn't take Xuanyuan back. Although Xuanyuan's actions were often arrogant and unscrupulous, he was undoubtedly a skilled moneymaker, raking in tens of millions in profits in a single month, earning the respect of even the leader of the Fire Wolf Gang's northern wing. At that moment, Xuanyuan was lying on the sofa when he received a call from his father. "Xuanyuan, you're still too young. You were too reckless this time," Xuanyuan's father, Mengyao, said earnestly. "Look at your cousin. He's been in Songshan City for a year, And while his performance isn't as good as yours, he sought stability, and now he's been given a high position by the Firewolf gang. Dad, isn't it also my wish to build something for Grandpa and the Firewolf gang? Ever since I left the country and my uncle took over the northern business, our standing within the Yin family and the Firewolf gang has plummeted, and Xuanyuan said bitterly. Stupid. Although your father, gave up the business in the north and now serve as a liaison between the family and the Firewolf gang, it seems that I am not as glorious as your uncle, but in fact, every transaction and account with the Firewolf gang is from your father's hands, and Mengyao said, why do you think that the Firewolf gang will let you be in charge of the business in Songshan City when you just returned to China? And is your elder brother really valued by the Firewolf gang? He just went to the border to deal with drug dealers. It seems that he makes a lot of money, but do you know how dangerous it is? Those drug dealers abroad, which one of them is not a desperate criminal who kills without blinking an eye? I understand, father, I was reckless, and Xuanyuan thought about his father's words carefully and felt that it was indeed the case. But thankfully, the organ smuggling business won't last long. And Xuanyuan already caught the attention of the police when he started it. It stopped now, so let it go. You've made a lot of money for the Firewolf gang, so let's just forget about this, and Mengyao said, fortunately, the leader of the Firewolf gang's northern branch is also a ruthless man. He appreciates your unscrupulous approach to making money, and with me triumphantly winning, he's finally agreed to give you a new job. What? A new job? That's great, and Xuanyuan was instantly delighted upon hearing his father's words. He had been contemplating what to do in the future. Without a kidney and a career, how could he pursue Chu Mengyao? Now, a new career had arrived so soon. Well, the most profitable underworld businesses right now are pornography, gambling, drugs, and organ smuggling. As for the pornography industry, there are local gang bosses running it everywhere, so it's not appropriate for us to get involved, and Mengyao said, and drug trafficking, your cousin is already doing it. Now all you have to do is gamble. Oh? You want me to build a casino? And Xuanyuan roughly guessed what his father meant. Yes, but it's not an ordinary casino, it's an underground black boxing ring, and Mengyao said. Ordinary casinos are also controlled by local gangs, so it's difficult for us to interfere. So we do the boxing gambling business. Not only can we sell tickets, but betting on the outcome of the fight is also a very profitable business. No problem, leave it to me, I will do it this time, and Xuanyuan nodded repeatedly and said, but I don't have anyone else to use. The tattooed man has already taken the blame for me, that doesn't matter. The captain has already sent 2 people who can be used. One is an external master with the strength of the peak of the early Zhuan level, enough to dominate your boxing ring. The other is Dr. Yin, who specializes in the research of stimulating human potential and will provide you with some drugs that can make you instantly invincible. But these 2 people are your assistants, not your subordinates. You must treat them with courtesy and don't neglect them, and Mengyao said. Recommended to my friend, Ultimate Boss Phase new book Dark Invincibility. Welcome to read it. It is a game novel. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 856 in Xuanyuan's Kidney Transplant. Don't worry, father. I know my limits. But can you send me another errand boy? Otherwise, these 2 won't be able to help me with some of the things I need to do, and Xuanyuan was no fool. This boxer and this doctor were both important figures in the Firewolf gang, so he couldn't just rely on them to take the blame. The incident with the kidney stealing ring had also taught him a lesson. Always have a backup plan. He had a lucky escape this time, but next time, he must be even more careful. He must have someone ready to take the blame for his crimes, or he, and Xuanyuan, would be the next to go to jail. Haha, you don't have to worry about that, and Mengyao said with a smile. I found a suitable candidate. He's a wanted criminal with a younger brother in junior high school. He can cover for you. How could Mengyao not know what his son was thinking? He didn't want anything to happen to Xuanyuan, so he had to make sure all these things were taken care of in advance. Oh, so this person has no worries, and Xuanyuan asked quickly. No, he only has a younger brother in junior high school. After he got into trouble, they lied to him, saying he was working abroad, and Mengyao said, I sent someone to give his brother some money a few days ago, saying he wouldn't be back anytime soon. That's good, and Xuanyuan nodded. Leave this underground boxing ring to me. I'll make it a thriving business, and Xuanyuan hung up the phone, feeling excited. His career was about to begin anew. He had originally thought he'd be ignored by the Firewolf gang for a while, but now it seemed his father had a deep connection with him. However, and Xuanyuan felt a little depressed when he realized that the boxer, a peak-level Xuan level warrior sent by the Firewolf gang, wasn't there to serve as his bodyguard or thug. If only this person were one of his own, he could reign supreme in Songshan city. In reality, and Xuanyuan simply didn't have any capable subordinates. Otherwise, he wouldn't even take Zhao Kaibing seriously. Weiwu was an illegitimate child from a hidden family. Even illegitimate sons and grandsons of hidden aristocratic families would be extremely respectful in front of the branch leader of the Firewolf gang. This was also the reason why Xuanyuan had not given Zhao Kaibing much face before. Zhao Kaibing knew that the Firewolf gang was behind Xuanyuan, so he did not dare to act rashly. However, the secrets of the Firewolf gang were only known to those who were truly at a certain level. Zhao Kaibing also knew a little bit and knew that the Firewolf gang was not easy to mess with, and Li Chihu had no idea how powerful the Firewolf gang was. Now, Xuanyuan felt that he only needed a kidney to restore his former glory. He had a career and awesome subordinates, and if he installed another kidney, he would be able to restore the heroic image of one of the 4 young masters of Songshan. Xuanyuan hung up the phone with his father and was about to call Zhong Pinliang to ask about it. Before he made the call, Zhong Pinliang called first. Xuanyuan quickly answered the phone. Hello? Is this Brother Pinliang? How is it? Are the test results out? Oh, they are out. Zhong Pinliang pretended to be in great pain, and said with some worry, it is indeed not a match, my kidney Brother Pinliang, please accept my condolences. I will definitely help you get a matching good kidney. Look, is this your kidney? Xuanyuan asked carefully. Yes. Since this kidney is yours, I can only return it to its original owner. Zhong Pinliang sighed and said, Brethren, you must not forget me in the future, you must get me another good kidney, of course. When do you think we should have the surgery to replace it? Xuanyuan was afraid that if something went wrong at that time, he would have to replace the kidney as soon as possible. There's no rush, right? I've had several surgeries in a row, and I'm still very weak. I need to recuperate before having the surgery, right? Zhong Pinliang said with some embarrassment. Besides, the surgery is quite expensive. I have to discuss it with my dad. The surgery fee is no problem. Of course I'll pay for my kidney transplant. How can I let you, my brother, bear it? Xuanyuan said quickly. As for your body, can we recuperate after the kidney transplant? In this way, I'll give you a nutritional fee, and you can buy some supplements or something. Is that so? Zhong Pinliang was overjoyed after hearing this, and thought to himself, Xuanyuan, you fool, I give you a dog kidney and you still want to give me money, you are so stupid. However, he said calmly, since Brethren said so, I can't refuse. That's the only way. But how much can you give me for the nutritional fee? How about 500,000? Xuanyuan gritted his teeth. This was half of his private money. The rest of the money was handed over to the Firewolf gang and the Yin family, so he felt a little distressed. But thinking about the fact that he already had a career and a kidney, what did this little money mean? He felt like he had a double blessing. Okay, then when are we going to get a kidney transplant? Xuanyuan asked anxiously. Brethren, since you're so anxious, I can't delay any longer. How about tomorrow? Zhong Pinliang said, the private clinic we checked here can do the surgery. I've already asked Xiaofu to contact them. Okay. Then tomorrow. Brother Pinliang, thank you. I'll definitely treat you to a big dinner then. Xuanyuan was overjoyed when he heard what Zhong Pinliang said, and he quickly thanked him. After Zhong Pinliang hung up the phone, Go Xiaofu, who was waiting on the side, asked, Brother Liang, what happened? Did Xuanyuan agree? He agreed. I'll get a kidney transplant tomorrow, and then I'll get 500,000 yuan in compensation. Zhong Pinliang said, have you made all the arrangements on your side? It's already been arranged. The operation can be done at any time. Go Xiaofu chuckled, and then said, Brother Liang, I've also prepared the mad dog. I specially asked the dog beating team to buy the mad dog. This mad dog is really hard to catch. Ha. When the time comes, let Xuanyuan get a mad dog kidney and beat him to death. Who made him cheat me so much in the first place? Take away my kidney, Zhong Pinliang laughed after hearing this. Xuanyuan, you just wait, the best is yet to come. When Zhang Neipao comes down the mountain, it will be the time of your death. That's right, when Brother Pao shows up, who will compete with him? Gao Xiaofu also said with anticipation. Brother Liang, when do you think we can go see Neipao? Well, after the kidney transplant is over, let's go up the mountain. We must go to see Zhang Neipao, otherwise I won't feel at ease, Zhong Pinliang said, but for the time being, we must keep a low profile at school and avoid Lin Yi's attention. Chapter 857 Yu Xiaok, are you depressed? I know that, Gao Xiaofu nodded. Both of them had grown up through great joy and great sorrow. Looking back on what they had done before, how childish they felt. But how many people in life have never been childish? How many people don't grow through failure? Zhong Pinliang and Gao Xiaofu's thoughts became more profound. They were no longer the kind of men who wore resentment on their faces and would directly clash with their enemies. They learned to use conspiracy and countermeasures. The next morning, Zhong Pinliang and Gao Xiaofu arrived at the private clinic they had agreed on. This private clinic belonged to Li Chihu's sphere of influence. With the help of Li Chihu's reputation, Gao Xiaofu easily reached a consensus with the doctors there. And Xuanyuan originally thought that it would be quite difficult for an ordinary private clinic to complete this kind of kidney transplant surgery, but after seeing the scale of this private clinic, he put aside his worries. The scale of this clinic is really not small. It can even perform common appendectomy and cholecystectomy surgeries. A kidney transplant should be no problem. Zhong Pinliang pretended to sigh and greet Xuanyuan. Then, with the help of Gao Xiaofu, he walked into the operating room and lay on the bed. The doctor first injected Xuanyuan with an anesthetic, and in order to prevent Xuanyuan from getting suspicious, he pretended to give Zhong Pinliang another shot of anesthetic. In fact, Xuanyuan was indeed very cautious this time. He had removed the wrong kidney last time, so he would naturally be more careful this time. It's not that he thought Zhong Pinliang could cheat him, because he didn't doubt Zhong Pinliang at all. What's the use of Zhong Pinliang having a rejected kidney? So since Zhong Pinliang promised to return the kidney to him, Xuanyuan wouldn't think too much about it. He was just a little worried about the doctor's technique. After a while, Xuanyuan fell into drowsy sleep, and Zhong Pinliang, who should have been asleep as well, suddenly sat up from his bed. He got off the bed, glanced at the sleeping Xuanyuan, and angrily spat a mouthful of thick phlegm on the ground. Then he shouted to the operating room, Xiaofu, open the door and let the dog out. Okay, Brother Liang. Gao Xiaofu arrived, pushing a surgical cart. On the cart lay a large, anesthetized black dog. Dr. Zhang, I'm sorry to bother you here, Gao Xiaofu said to the surgeon with a smile. Don't worry, it's no problem. I wouldn't dare to transplant a human kidney, but a dog's kidney is fine. After all, it's okay if it breaks, right? Dr. Zhang nodded. It's okay, even if it dies, Zhong Pinliang said nonchalantly. The rest was left to Dr. Zhang, while Zhong Pinliang and Gao Xiaofu left first. Yu Xiaok had been feeling very depressed lately, almost like a depressed person. Kaibing Real Estate Company was about to demolish the orphanage, and before she could come up with a good countermeasure, her source of income had already been cut off. The city's recent crackdown on theft and other illegal activities was in full swing. Yu Xiaok went out for a walk and found plainclothes officers patrolling every few steps, leaving her no chance to act. Furthermore, committing a crime at this moment was tantamount to seeking death. While what she had done wasn't enough to warrant a wanted order from Song Lingshan, who knew if Song Lingshan had shared a profile with her subordinates? What if someone recognized her while sneaking around? However, she couldn't stop working. The orphanage's daily expenses were rising, and if she continued like this, she would undoubtedly be running out of money. Yu Xiaok was frustrated and anxious. Xiaok, what are you doing? You're wandering around the room, making me dizzy and dazed, the old dean asked, seeing Yu Xiaok running around like a headless chicken. Master, the police have started to crack down, and I can't go out to work, Yu Xiaok sighed. I have to think of a way. It seems that I have to spread the word and get some big deals. Oh, Xiaok, you have worked so hard. The old dean looked at Yu Xiaok with some distress. If it weren't for the fact that your master can't show up in public, your master really wants to share some of the burden for you. You are only 18 years old. You should be at the age where you can enjoy your youth without worries, but you have such a heavy burden every day. Master, it's too formal for you to say that. You treat me like your daughter. I should share your worries. Isn't that what I should do? Yu Xiaoke didn't feel how hard it was for her. After so many years, she had long been accustomed to it. Now she just wanted to make some money so that the children in the orphanage could live a good life. Xiaoke, you are not young anymore, are you? One of my biggest wishes in this life is that you can marry into a good family, escape from your current hard life, and live a happy life of your own, the old dean said suddenly, looking at Yu Xiaoke. Me? Get married? Ha, master, stop joking. Yu Xiaoke shook her head. Who would dare to marry me? I'm a female thief. Which decent person would dare to marry me? This is not important. If you don't tell me yourself, who else would know? The old dean said indifferently. Change place and hide your identity. Change place and hide your identity? That won't do. What about the children in the orphanage? How can I ignore them? Yu Xiaoke shook her head. So, whoever marries me has to bear the burden of the entire orphanage. In this case, who would dare to marry me? Even if I am as beautiful as a fairy, it is impossible, right? What's more, I am not a fairy. The old dean sighed and did not say anything more on this topic. He knew exactly what Yu Xiaoke was thinking. How could she study the issue of getting married if the orphanage issue is not resolved? And if it is really as Yu Xiaoke said, if she marries her, she will have to help her bear the burden of the orphanage, then it is unlikely that anyone would dare to marry Yu Xiaoke. Although Yu Xiaoke is pretty, she is used to being wild outside, brandishing swords and guns, and she is also a female thief. Which wealthy family would want such a girl? If it were a small family, who could afford such a big orphanage? Then again, even if those wealthy families are willing to take Yu Xiaoke, how could they help her share the burden of such an orphanage? They are rich, but they can't afford to spend like this. The expenses of the orphanage are over 1 million a year. How expensive are the prices now? The old dean shook his head and changed the subject. Do you want to take missions outside? Xiaoke, that will be dangerous. The missions outside are not so easy to take. Although we and Feynman are also members of the thief sect, compared with those people, we are just petty thieves. Chapter 858 The Kang Family's Urge? What can we do? We have to try, right? At least we in the Feyn sect are good at Qingguang, light work, and have studied the secret techniques of mechanical devices, which makes us even better than them, Yu Xiaoke said proudly. Last time, I even helped them rob tombs. If it weren't for me, they would have been dead and lost, unable to get out. Just be as careful as possible. The old director knew Yu Xiaoke had made up her mind, so he stopped trying to persuade her. The orphanage really couldn't afford to lose its income, or it wouldn't be able to survive. Yu Xiaoke posted a commission on the Daomen website and waited for someone to take it. However, posting a commission usually didn't result in instant acceptance, so Yu Xiaoke decided to do something else during this time. After much thought, she realized she didn't have any skills. The only thing she could think of was selling flowers in front of the hospital. This was the only way to lower the risk and make money. So, she took Xiaoken and a few older children to the wholesale market to buy some flowers and started selling them in front of the First People's Hospital. In reality, the flower sales in this area were controlled by a local tyrant. However, this tyrant knew Yu Xiaoke and knew she was a female thief who was not easy to deal with. He had also heard about the recent crackdown in the city, so he understood that Yu Xiaoke's flower sales were just a temporary measure and would not last long, so he turned a blind eye. Kang Xiaoming lay in the hospital bed. Fortunately, his legs were only fractured, not comminuted, which were relatively minor fractures. However, as the saying goes, it takes 100 days to heal a broken bone. Even with good medicine, Kang Xiaoming would not be able to walk for a while. Fortunately, wheelchairs nowadays are more intelligent, capable of forward and backward movement, and turning. And with his two subordinates, Wang Shubin and Zhu Xiaozhang, by his side, he could get around without any problems. Today was Kang Xiaoming's discharge day. Although generally, discharge is a blessing for everyone except the terminally ill, Kang Xiaoming was somewhat unhappy. He had been lying in bed for so many days, and Guanxin had not visited him since that last visit. Kang Xiaoming's main purpose for being hospitalized was to get close to Guanxin, but now that Guanxin hadn't gotten close, she'd suffered for days in vain. Shubin, do you have any other ideas? Kang Xiaoming was a little anxious. Lately, his family had been calling him constantly, urging him to get Guanxin as soon as possible, but with his leg broken, how could he possibly have the chance? Ming Xiao, I think using illness as an excuse to get close to Guanxin isn't going to work. Wang Shubin thought for a moment and said. Nonsense. Did I know it wasn't going to work? Guanxin is already a little suspicious. If I get sick again, even if she doesn't think I did it on purpose, she'll think I'm an unlucky idiot who's always sick. How could she be willing to be my friend? Kang Xiaoming snorted. Besides, who of her patients would be injured like that? It's hard to tell whether it's mild or severe. Yeah, but I really can't think of any good ideas, Wang Shubin said carefully. Those online tips on picking up girls are all bullshit and misleading. They're completely useless. What do they say online? Kang Xiaoming asked. It's all about drugging. Getting on the bus first and buying the ticket later and so on, Wang Shubin said. Fuck, are you on a porn website? What a mess. Kang Xiaoming knew it was impossible to do anything when he heard what Wang Shubin said. He drugged Guanxin, and it was lucky that Guanxin didn't hate him to death. How could she tell him the formula? Go to hell. Yes, Wang Shubin wiped the sweat off his forehead and thought to himself, didn't you ask me to go and see? But he didn't dare to refute. As he was talking, Kang Xiaoming's cell phone rang. Kang Xiaoming picked it up and saw that it was his brother Kang Xiaolong calling. He quickly answered the phone. Brother, Xiaoming, I heard that you were discharged from the hospital today. How is it? Although Kang Xiaolong had something to do with Kang Xiaoming had just been discharged from the hospital, and as the eldest brother, he still had to express his condolences. Not bad, but I still have to sit in a wheelchair. Brother, do you have something to talk to me about? Kang Xiaoming asked. Isn't it about that matter again? Kang Xiaolong sighed. The people of the Xiao family came to my grandfather to force a marriage, and they also brought us one-level master. Damn, are they trying to scare our Kang family? So you have to hurry up. You must deal with the Guanxin and get the prescription. No matter what means you use, you must complete it as soon as possible, otherwise your brother and I can only marry Wang Xinian. Kang Xiaolong thought to himself, marrying Wang Xinian would be such a wonderful thing. If you were allowed to marry her, he would be more than happy. However, he also knew that if the Kang family really had the prescription for the longevity and detoxification pill, it would achieve a qualitative leap, and with this prescription, it would become a popular family. Although those families who took the longevity and detoxification pill did not publicly publicize the efficacy of the medicine, they also secretly sent people to inquire with the Kang family whether the Kang family had any intention of transferring the longevity and detoxification pill purchased at the auction. If it could be transferred, they would give a reasonable price. Reasonable price? The Kang family has already spent more than 400 million to buy this longevity and detoxification pill. Would the reasonable price be more than 400 million? It's unimaginable. However, Kang Xiaoming also knows that even if it costs 500 million, it is worth it for some old guys from big families or even hidden families. A pill can add 10 years of life. That's like spending money to buy life. It's worth it no matter how much it costs. Moreover, Kang Xiaoming has personally experienced the effect of this longevity and detoxification pill. He is still benefiting from it now. Otherwise, he would have recovered so quickly from the cold before and after the house was smashed, which is also due to the change in his physical condition. If it were the weak Kang Xiaoming with kidney deficiency before, he would have been lying in the hospital long ago. Therefore, once the Kang family gets the prescription and refines the longevity and detoxification pill, then those families will have to give the Kang family some face. By then, it will be natural for the Kang family to be upgraded to an aristocratic family. I'll hurry up, Kang Xiaoming said, but there's no rush for this, is there? Urgent. Very urgent. You must hurry up. This is what Grandpa wants, Kang Xiaolong said. Besides that, there's another thing. I heard that the product of Guanshenyu Pharmaceutical Company will be released next month. It has the same effect as our Kang family's golden wound medicine, but it's called trauma medicine. In addition to getting the prescription for the longevity and detoxification pill, it's best to also find out a prescription for Guanshenyu's trauma medicine, especially to understand their raw material procurement channels. Chapter 859. A good idea. Oh? The formula for the trauma medicine? The source of the raw materials? What do you need this for? Kang Xiaoming was momentarily confused. What did Kang Xiaolong need these things for? If we find out their formula is the same as ours, we can sue them for patent infringement, Kang Xiaolong said. As for the source of the raw materials, if they find it, we can contact them and ask them to sell all their future raw materials to us, the Kang family. That way, Dr. Guan Pharmaceutical Company will have no raw materials to import. They won't be able to produce the product, and the formula will be useless. Is that so? I understand. I'll do my best to find out, Kang Xiaoming nodded. It's best to find out first. If the formula for the longevity and detoxification pill is hard to come by, we can put it aside for now, Kang Xiaolong said. After all, our Kang family's biggest competitor is Dr. Guan Pharmaceutical Company. Okay, Kang Xiaoming agreed, but he was still thinking about how to get Dr. Guan's trauma medicine formula and the source of the raw materials. Did Guan Xin know about this? But even if she didn't, she could find out. It seemed that they had to deal with Guan Xin first. After hanging up the phone with his eldest brother, Kang Xiaoming felt a little anxious. Guan Shenye Pharmaceutical Company will release a new product next month. It would be a bit rushed to figure out the formula before then. Wang Shubin, things have changed. We must deal with Guan Xin quickly. Kang Xiaoming did not hide his intentions from his trusted subordinates. My eldest brother has urged me. Guan Shenye Pharmaceutical Company will launch a new product next month. We must get the formula and raw material procurement channels for the trauma medicine from Guan Shenye Pharmaceutical Company before then, because Wang Shubin and Zhu Xiaoxiang had helped him do some evil things, such as murdering Xiaofan. These things were no longer a big deal in their eyes. Ming Xiao, this is a bit difficult. A pure little girl like Guan Xin has a strong sense of self-defense, and considering her family background, she will not be easily tempted by money. So our previous methods of spending money to pick up girls are useless. Wang Shubin frowned and sighed. Ladies like Guan Xin all like romantic love, but we don't have much to be romantic about. Damn it, I didn't know what romance was 10 years ago. I just spent money on pretty girls, Kang Xiaoming said viciously, but I don't care. Come up with a romantic idea for me right now. I have to get Guan Xin as soon as possible. There's no time. Wang Shubin broke out in a sweat. Where can he find some romance in the short time? But since it was Kang Xiaoming's order, he had to obey it. He could only think hard. Although Zhu Xiaoxiang was not named by Kang Xiaoming, he couldn't guarantee that Kang Xiaoming would ask him about it in a while, so he didn't dare to neglect it. While Wang Shubin was thinking, he was also thinking of a way. What are you three doing standing in the middle of the hospital gate? Are you looking for death? The three were thinking hard, when suddenly they heard a loud shout, and they suddenly woke up. Kang Xiaoming looked up and saw that a hearse was about to enter the hospital. It turned out that the three of them were standing in the middle of the gate, blocking the hearse's way. The hearse driver came with a wreath to pick up the dead body, but when he got to the gate, he was blocked by Kang Xiaoming and the other two. He honked the horn for a long time, but the three of them didn't hear anything. The driver had no choice but to open the window and yell at the top of his lungs. But how arrogant is Zhu Xiaoxiang? Normally, he was as domineering as a crab. When he heard someone scolding him, he immediately got angry. He glared and pointed at the hearse driver and started scolding. Who are you asking for death? You old bastard, you don't want to live, right? Do you know who I am? Why are you in such a hurry? Are you trying to die? The hearse driver was just angry for a moment and said something without thinking. As long as Zhu Xiaoxiang gave way, the matter would be over. But when he saw Zhu Xiaoxiang being so domineering, blocking the road and still making plausible arguments, he immediately became angry. I'm going to pick up the dead. What's wrong? If you don't give way, I will hit you to death and send you a wreath and take you to the crematorium on the way. Huh? Zhu Xiaoxiang wanted to continue scolding, but when he heard the driver said he wanted to send him a wreath, an idea suddenly came to him. Wreaths? Yes, if you want to talk about romance, there is nothing more romantic than giving flowers. He had watched some soap operas before, in which the male protagonists used flowers to pursue the female protagonists. As soon as he made it, he created a sea of flowers. Then the male protagonist stood in the sea of flowers holding a broken guitar and confessed his love. Although Guan Xin is not materialistic, she certainly can't stand this romantic sea of flowers. Every girl hopes for such a grand and romantic courtship scene, so Guan Xin is the same. Zhu Xiaoxiang figured it out all of a sudden, and suddenly he danced with joy. His eyes looking at the hearse driver also became much softer. This person really helped him a lot. So Zhu Xiaoxiang smiled and said to the hearse driver, "Thank you." The hearse driver was stunned. Who is this person? I sent him a wreath, and he still wants to thank me? Isn't this crazy? Is he crazy? When he thought of this possibility, and looked at Zhu Xiaoxiang's relieved smile, the driver shuddered. Suddenly he thought, this is a hospital. Could the person in front of him be a mental patient? The driver was horrified at the thought. It wasn't illegal for this psychopath to kill someone, so he couldn't afford to provoke him. He quickly backed the car out, preparing to leave through the hospital's back door to avoid provoking this psychopath and bringing further harm upon himself. Zhu Xiaozhang didn't have the heart to care about what the driver was thinking. He thought of a solution and quickly turned to Kang Xiaoming. Mr. Ming, I've got a good idea. What's that? Tell me, Kang Xiaoming asked impatiently. Look, we can use the flower seed tactic, Wang Shubin said. Mr. Ming, we can buy a bunch of flowers and place them in the hospital compound. Then you can confess your love to Guanzin in public. How romantic would that be? Guanzin would be so touched that she might even give you a chance. Oh? Can that work? Kang Xiaoming felt that Wang Shubin's solution was somewhat feasible, and his heart was moved. Of course. Young Master Ming, think about it, girls all love romance, especially a pure girl like Guanzin. She's never been in love before, never been hurt by love, so she always fantasizes about her expectations of love, Wang Shubin explained. And in those TV dramas, the most touching thing for the heroine is the love proposal in a sea of flowers. Those classic TV plots are definitely the most practical, otherwise what are they doing? Chapter 860 Yu Xiaoke gets rich. That's true, Kang Xiaoming nodded after hearing this. Now that you mention it, I think so too. In many TV dramas, the tactic of courting with a sea of flowers is used, however, Kang Xiaoming and Wang Shubin overlooked one most important thing. The relationship between the male and female protagonists in the TV drama is completely different from the relationship between him and Guanzin. The male protagonist used the tactic of courting with a sea of flowers, but it was based on the premise that the female protagonist already had a good impression of him. It was just that the two lovers had misunderstandings or conflicts, or they were in love but had a layer of window paper between them that had not been broken. That's why the tactic of courting with a sea of flowers had such a powerful effect. But the problem now was that Guanzin didn't like Kang Xiaoming at all, and she didn't have any good feelings for him. How could she fall in love with Kang Xiaoming with the tactic of courting with a sea of flowers? If Lin Yi had done this, Guanzin might have accepted it happily. So let's go back and contact the flower shop now, Wang Shubin asked when he saw that Kang Xiaoming agreed. Why go back? Can't we just buy flowers here? The sooner the better. Kang Xiaoming was anxious and didn't want to wait any longer. Okay, let's buy it now. Wang Shubin nodded and pushed Kang Xiaoming out of the hospital. As soon as they saw each other, Yu Xiaoke was selling flowers with the children from the orphanage. Isn't there someone selling flowers here? Kang Xiaoming's eyes lit up when he saw Yu Xiaoke. What a pretty girl. But she looked familiar, as if he had seen her somewhere before. However, he wanted to pursue Guanzin, so he couldn't cause trouble at this time. Otherwise, he really wanted to flirt with this little girl selling flowers. Wang Shubin and Zhu Xiaozhang also felt that Yu Xiaoke in front of them looked familiar, but they didn't know where they had seen her. But they didn't care. They thought she was selling flowers at the hospital gate every day, and they saw her every day when they went in and out. It's no wonder, though. Yu Xiaoke used to wear a nurse's white coat, which was completely different from her current image as a florist. So Kang Xiaoming, Zhu Xiaozhang, and Wang Shubin didn't recognize her as the nurse who had tricked them that day and sent them to the morgue. However, while Kang Xiaoming, Wang Shubin, and Zhu Xiaozhang didn't recognize Yu Xiaoke did recognize the three of them. As a qualified female thief, Yu Xiaoke had excellent eyesight and recognized the three fat sheep at a glance. However, when she saw them approaching her, she suddenly felt a little guilty. Could it be that these three recognized her? Yu Xiaoke was a little worried, but thinking that she had only tricked them and that they couldn't possibly know that she had stolen their wallets, she felt a little relieved and pretended not to know the three. Hey, how much are your flowers? We'd like to buy more. Do you have any left? Zhu Xiaozhang spoke with an air of arrogance. The more he acted like this, the more likely he would be treated as a fat sheep to be ripped off. Yes, we have as many as you want. But what kind of flowers do you want? Yu Xiaoke's eyes lit up, knowing the three idiots were going to give her money. We want roses. How many do you have? You don't even have enough for anything with what you have. Zhu Xiaozhang said impatiently. Roses are 3 yuan a pop. As many as you want. If you don't have enough, we'll plant them for you, Yu Xiaoke said. Zhu Xiaozhang, hearing Yu Xiao's nonsense, felt unreliable and wanted to go to the nearby flower shop to ask, but then he heard Kang Xiaoming speak. "Huh, you talk quite interesting," Kang Xiaoming laughed. "Then I'll buy from you. I want to buy 10,000 roses and put them in the hospital yard, turning them into a sea of flowers. It'll take an hour." "Okay, sure, but you have to give me a deposit first." Yu Xiao was delighted. She hadn't expected to run into such an idiot on her first day selling flowers. He didn't even bargain and ordered 10,000 roses. 3 yuan was just the retail price of a single rose. Even buying 10 would be a good deal, and they even got packaging for free. "The deposit is fine, but I can't give you more. I'll give you 10,000. I'll give you the rest after you get the flowers," Kang Xiaoming said. In his eyes, 10,000 yuan was nothing, and he had just gotten a sum of money from Li Chihua, so he was still very generous. Yu Xiao almost laughed out loud after hearing what Kang Xiaoming said. 10,000 yuan. It doesn't cost 10,000 yuan to wholesale 10,000 roses. The current price of roses in the Songshan city flower wholesale market is 50 cents, but if the quantity is large, it can be reduced to 30 cents, so only 3,000 yuan is enough. This idiot actually gave him 10,000 yuan at once. He really made a fortune. Before, Yu Xiao expected that if they bargained, he could give them a price of 80 cents, but these 3 people seemed to have no idea about the market. They didn't bargain at all and gave him a deposit of 10,000 yuan. Of course, Yu Xiao couldn't show it, so she just said calmly, "Okay, give me the deposit and I'll arrange for the flowers to be delivered to you." Kang Xiaoming and the other 2 had never thought that flowers could be bargained for. After all, they saw that street flower sellers like Yu Xiao were mobile in nature, and they thought that they couldn't make much money from a single flower. Besides, for something worth only a few dollars, Kang Xiaoming would feel cheap if he bargained. He was the second young master of the Kang family. How could he argue with a few street flower vendors? If that got out, wouldn't people laugh at him? Kang Xiaoming asked Zhu Xiaozhang to go to a nearby ATM to withdraw 10,000 yuan, and then gave it to Yu Xiao, saying, "Here's the deposit. If you do a good job, there's a reward." For Kang Xiaoming, 30,000 or 20,000 yuan was not a lot of money, so he promised Yu Xiao that if she did a good job, there would be a reward, and he also wanted Yu Xiao to do a better job for him. When Yu Xiao heard that there was a reward, her eyes lit up immediately, and she also gave Kang Xiaoming some ideas. "Boss, who are you going to welcome out? Your girlfriend?" "Yes, my girlfriend. I want to confess my love to her." When Kang Xiaoming heard Yu Xiao say Guanzin was his girlfriend, he was immediately overjoyed, in a very good mood, and nodded and said, "Why, is there something wrong? If you are going to welcome your girlfriend, do you want me to prepare a slogan or something for you?" Yu Xiao thought to herself, since she has earned so much money from others and received a bonus, she might as well give them some benefits. Okay, when Kang Xiaoming heard Yu Xiao's idea, he immediately thought it was very good. "Make a slogan. Your idea is very good. Not bad, go ahead and do it, and tell me how much money it costs. You are quite smart, little girl, not bad." Chapter 861, Love War. Yu Xiao was speechless. She had wanted to give him a slogan for free, but this guy wanted to give her money? How could Yu Xiao refuse it? So she nodded and said, "Boss, you are so straightforward. Your girlfriend must be very happy to have a boyfriend like you. Ha 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 ha. You really understand me too well." That's right, Kang Xiaoming thought to himself that with Yu Xiao's good words, he would surely be victorious today. In his joy, he said to Yu Xiao, "Didn't we agree on 30,000 before? If you do a good job for me today, I'll give you 50,000. But in addition to the slogan, you have to buy me something else." "Okay, boss, just tell me." Yu Xiao thought to herself that she had met a fool today. It would be a shame if she didn't kill him. "Go get me some fireworks, a broken guitar, and a megaphone. I'm going to make a love confession," Kang Xiaoming thought. Besides the sea of flowers, movies also have fireworks and other things, so Kang Xiaoming took the opportunity to bring it up. As the saying goes, one thing doesn't require 2 people. Kang Xiaoming was too lazy to buy them himself. He didn't know where to buy fireworks, and he wasn't very familiar with Songshan City. So he decided to let Yu Xiao do it for him. Yu Xiao happily went to buy these things. As a female thief, Yu Xiao had visited many places in Songshan City, so she knew exactly what was available and where. She sent Xiao Ken to the flower market to buy wholesale flowers, sent another child to buy fireworks, and another to the second-hand market to buy a broken guitar and an amplifier. Yu Xiaoke herself went to prepare banners for King Xiaoming. With so many people, the work was clear. After Yu Xiaoke retrieved the banners from the copy shop, the others followed suit, bringing back their supplies and arranging them according to King Xiaoming's instructions. King Xiaoming didn't expect Yu Xiaoke to finish it so quickly. He was so happy that he gave the remaining 40,000 yuan to Yu Xiaoke. Xiao Ken and the kids didn't expect Yu Xiaoke to be so capable. She easily negotiated a 50,000 yuan business. Buying flowers, making slogans, and buying second-hand guitars and amplifiers only cost a total of 4,000 yuan. She made 45,000 yuan in one go, which was unbelievable for them. Yu Xiaoke took the money and left. She had already made enough here. If she made more, she would be envied. Yu Xiaoke knew the rules of the business here. She knew that there were flower shops in this area. In fact, these flower shops would also send some people to sell flowers in front of the hospital. How could the flower shops be willing to accept that Yu Xiaoke had taken away such a big business? If she continued to work here tomorrow, those people would definitely make trouble for Yu Xiaoke. So Yu Xiaoke knew when to advance and retreat. She just took the money and left. Even so, some people still envied him. The owner of a nearby flower shop looked at Yu Xiaoke with a look of greed and hatred as she left, feeling very unhappy. If it weren't for the Magbull who was in charge of this area telling him that Yu Xiaoke was not someone to be trifled with, he would have definitely stepped forward to get a piece of the pie. After seeing Yu Xiaoke leave, the flower shop owner walked over and found King Xiaoming. "Boss, I'm from Xiandao Flower Shop. Do you need any other flowers? I have them here, and they are very complete. I've bought everything. What else do you want to buy?" King Xiaoming was excitedly preparing to confess his love to Guanxin, but the flower shop owner came over and made a noise, which made him very unhappy. "Stay away and don't get in the way here." The flower shop owner had to step away. "Then next time you buy flowers, you can come to me. I can give you a discount." Okay, I got it." King Xiaoming waved his hand and said impatiently, "Get out." Although Guanxin is only a nurse in the first hospital, there are many people here who know Guanxin. If you want to say the flower of the first hospital, it must be Guanxin, so no matter whether you have spoken to Guanxin or not, you have probably heard of this name. Now, King Xiaoming had put up a large sign that read Guanxin, I love you. Seeing it, many people stopped to stare, wondering who King Xiaoming was. Could the man in the wheelchair be Guanxin's boyfriend? Guanxin quickly learned the news, and those who knew her immediately reported the situation at the hospital entrance. Xixing, I have big news for you. Someone has set up a sea of roses outside our hospital, preparing to declare their love. That's quite romantic. What a rich person, Li Xiaomei said enviously. Oh, Guanxin smiled faintly. What does that have to do with me? Of course it doesn't matter. That person also put up a sign saying Guanxin, I love you, it's obviously for you. It spread all over the hospital, Li Xiaomei said. I just went to the ward, and the doctor there told me. Huh? Me? Guanxin's eyes widened at Li Xiaomei's words, looking at her in disbelief. Really? Are you talking about me? Really? Li Xiaomei nodded. It was you. Who was it? Who would do this? Lin Yi? Guanxin instinctively thought of Lin Yi first, but then she shook her head, feeling a pang of self-pity. It couldn't possibly be Lin Yi. How could he possibly confess his feelings to her? Her imagination was truly unrealistic. Once she realized it wasn't Lin Yi, Guanxin lost interest, her expression devoid of excitement. Who's so bored, huh? Xixing, after hearing this explosive news, you're not moved at all? You don't even want to go out and see. Who did this? Li Xiaomei asked, somewhat curiously. No, Guanxin shook her head. What's so interesting? It must have been that boring guy, King Xiaoming. Well, now that you mention it, it's possible. Li Xiaomei's interest waned at the name. She had no feelings for King Xiaoming at all. Furthermore, through Guanxin, she had met Xiaofan, and knew that Xiaofan was the victim of King Xiaoming's actions. Her already negative impression of King Xiaoming was now even worse. So, get to work. Guanxin set to work again. After get off work that evening, Guanxin and Li Xiaomei walked out of the hospital gate together. Wang Shubin, who was in charge of investigation at the hospital gate, saw Guanzin coming out and quickly sent a signal to Kang Xiaoming and Zhu Xiaozhang. Suddenly, fireworks were lit in front of the hospital gate, followed by Kang Xiaoming's voice, "Beautiful Miss Guanzin, please allow me to tell you my love confession." Chapter 862 The Greedy Flower Shop Owner. Guanzin thought that after such a long time, Kang Xiaoming would surely be waiting and leave in a hurry, but she was surprised by the fireworks as soon as she went out, and was also scared by Kang Xiaoming's sudden voice. Before Guanzin could react, Kang Xiaoming started singing, "There is a girl named Xiaoxin in the hospital. She is pretty and kind, with a pair of beautiful big eyes and thick and long braids." Kang Xiaoming played the guitar and sang, and he felt like a passionate prince, but his singing was too unpleasant, a bit like the croaking of a toad, which not only scared Guanzin, but also made the onlookers frown. "Xiaoming, let's go quickly, don't pay attention to him." Guanzin had never encountered a similar scene, and was really scared by Kang Xiaoming. Seeing Guanzin about to leave, Kang Xiaoming grew anxious and, forgetting his song, launched into confession. "Xixin, you are the goddess of my heart. You are electricity, you are light, you are the only myth. I only love you. Where are you from? We don't allow flammable or explosive items in the hospital, let alone fireworks. And you're shouting through a megaphone, disturbing the patients. Now, come back to the police station with us and receive your punishment." As Kang Xiaoming was shouting, officers from the hospital's duty room, responding to a call, rushed over and surrounded him. "Huh?" Kang Xiaoming was surprised to have attracted the police. "Is this picking up girls illegal?" "It's not illegal, but the methods you use violate hospital regulations. Come back with us." Two officers, one on each side, led Kang Xiaoming away. Everyone had gathered to watch the farce, but before Kang Xiaoming could finish his confession, he was taken away by the police, and the crowd quickly dispersed. Guanzin finally breathed a sigh of relief. Kang Xiaoming was really annoying. He had made such a scene that made her feel a little overwhelmed. In the past, Guanzin had no shortage of suitors around her, but this was the first time that he had made such a big fuss. "Huh?" Guanzin breathed a sigh of relief and decided to have a good talk with Kang Xiaoming next time she saw him. There was no hope for him and her, so he should stop worrying. This guy is so unlucky. He was arrested by the police on duty at the hospital before he could even finish his confession. Li Xiaoming curled her lips and found it a little funny. "It's a good thing he was arrested, otherwise I really don't know how to deal with it." Guanzin shook her head and quickly walked with Li Xiaoming to the place where the hospital commuter bus stopped. Kang Xiaoming wrote a letter of guarantee in the police station of the hospital, paid a small fine and was released. After all, he didn't do anything too serious. The police criticized and educated him and let him go. Kang Xiaoming didn't listen to a word he said. He was secretly anxious. He quickly maneuvered his wheelchair out of the police station and saw Zhu Xiaozhang and Wang Shubin waiting at the door of the police station. "Where's Guanzin? How is she?" Kang Xiaoming asked anxiously. "She left a long time ago," Wang Shubin said helplessly. "Mr. Ming, if you weren't there, we couldn't stop Guanzin from leaving." "What was her expression when she left? Did she look happy?" Kang Xiaoming asked. "No, she seemed quite angry," Wang Shubin said carefully. "Damn, all this big fuss was in vain," Kang Xiaoming said, very unhappy. "Why are these hospitals so nosy?" The three of them left the hospital together. The sea of flowers in front of the hospital had been removed, and the guitar and amplifier were gone. However, Kang Xiaoming didn't care much about these things. What he was thinking about now was how to pursue Guanzin. It seemed that the previous confession had completely failed. He just didn't know if she was angry because Guanzin didn't like him, or because her confession was ruined halfway. The owner of the flower shop at the door had made a killing. Kang Xiaoming had been arrested, and Wang Shubin and Zhu Xiaozhang were gone. The 10,000 roses at the door had become ownerless. The flower shop owner quickly called in a few workers, gathered up all the roses, and stored them in his cellar. This owner had gotten a great deal, but not satisfied, he continued to plan to sell the flowers to Kang Xiaoming tomorrow. He was waiting at the hospital entrance. When he saw Kang Xiaoming and the other two approaching, he quickly greeted them with a smile. "Boss, are you still buying flowers? I have some cheap roses here, guaranteed to be cheap. Do you want any tomorrow?" "No." Kang Xiaoming glared at the flower shop owner. "Still buying? He was going to embarrass himself tomorrow?" "Boss, didn't you fail today? You're not going to continue tomorrow?" The owner was stunned, a little unwilling to accept this. Seeing Yu Zhao making money, he was extremely jealous and envious. Now he had picked up 10,000 roses for free, and now he wanted to sell them to Kang Xiaoming. It would have been fine if the boss hadn't mentioned it, but the mention of his failed confession sent Kang Xiaoming flying with rage. What a fuss. Furious, he pointed at the florist and shouted at Zhu Xiaozhang and Wang Shubin, "Beat him up. Damn it, he's making such a fuss in front of me." As the saying goes, greed is like a snake swallowing an elephant, and this boss was just that. He'd already picked up 10,000 roses for free, yet he wasn't satisfied. He even wanted to sell them to Kang Xiaoming. And now, Wang Shubin and Zhu Xiaozhang had beaten him so badly that he lost his temper. Although the boss had some connections and knew the local boss, Guang Niu, he saw Kang Xiaoming and his 3 friends driving a Porsche Cayenne, clearly wealthy men, so he didn't dare to provoke them. He could only howl and beg for mercy. Kang Xiaoming's courtship campaign ended in farce. Guanzin remained unmoved, leaving Kang Xiaoming with a waste of 50,000 yuan. However, Kang Xiaoming did not give up. The next afternoon, when it was almost time to get off work, he, Wang Shubin, and Zhu Xiaozhang waited at the gate of the First People's Hospital, waiting for Guanzin to get off work. Given the current situation, what should I do? Kang Xiaoming sighed helplessly. He had confidently accepted the task assigned to him by his family, thinking that he could complete it perfectly. Who would have thought that Guanzin would be so difficult to deal with? No matter what he did, Guanzin would not be tempted. Logically speaking, his family background was similar to Guanzin's, and they were a good match. Why wouldn't Guanzin be tempted? Mr. Ming, I think that Guanzin was born in an intellectual family and must have received a good education, otherwise she wouldn't be so hard to hook, Wang Shubin analyzed. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 863 Guanzin's Father. Yesterday was a good opportunity. If we had continued, maybe Guanzin would have been moved and given you, young Master Ming, a chance. But yesterday's plan failed. The same plan won't work a second time, and it won't have any effect you if we use it. So I think we should change our strategy. Aren't you talking nonsense? I know that, Kang Xiaoming said unhappily. What I want now is a solution that can be put into practice, not theoretical analysis like yours. I don't have time anymore, do you know? The situation now is that my family is urging me to do something. If I really can't get the formula this time, my status in the Kang family will take a sharp turn for the worse. You 2 idiots won't be so powerful without my support in the future. This, Wang Shubin and Zhu Xiaozhang realized the complexity of the matter after hearing what Kang Xiaoming said. Indeed, if Kang Xiaoming was no longer popular in the Kang family, then naturally, these 2 younger brothers would not be able to call the shots like they do now. Thinking of this, Wang Shubin took a deep breath and began to ponder a countermeasure. Kang Xiaoming saw that he was thinking and did not disturb him. Among them, only Wang Shubin could be considered a think tank, so all this depended on him. I got it. Wang Shubin suddenly had an idea and said, Ming Xiao, all the signs show that Guanzin is a good girl. Girls like this are very obedient to their families. So, if we propose marriage directly to the Guan family, there should be some hope. Think about it, you are the grandson of Dr. Kang, and Guanzin is the granddaughter of Dr. Guan. You are a strong combination. I think Guanzuman will not object. Right, your idea is somewhat feasible, but you have to understand that I am not looking for Guanzin to marry her. I just want to get the Guan family's formulas through her. If I can have fun with it, I will have fun with it. If I can't, it doesn't matter. But getting married is absolutely impossible, Kang Xiaoming said. How can I get married if I get the formula? Moreover, even if it is a fake marriage, my grandfather has to show up. I can't just go to Guanzuman to propose marriage by myself. Do you think Guanzuman can believe it? This, Wang Shubin hesitated for a moment. Ming Xiao, how about you go and visit her and say that you just want to get in touch with Guanzin and make friends with her? Although this is not a formal proposal, it is also a hint. I think Guanzuman will not refuse too much. In this way, it will be legitimate for you to get closer to Guanzin. That makes sense, Kang Xiaoming nodded, but Guanzuman and I are not familiar with each other, and we have never met. What if he objects? Well, I think, Ming Xiao, You are not formally proposing marriage, you are just proposing to make friends with Guanzin. I think Guanzuman will not refuse directly because of his face, right? As long as he doesn't refuse, then the matter can be settled, Wang Shubin said. Of course, if Guanzuman strongly objects, even if Ming Xiao, you are able to seduce Guanzin, he will find ways to break you up, and you will not easily give the prescription to Guanzin. That's true. The key lies in the attitude of the Guan family. Then shall we go visit Guanzuman? Kang Xiaoming nodded. I have to discuss it with my family. I can't go empty-handed. I have to bring some gifts. As the three were talking, it was time to get off work at the hospital. Guanzin and Li Xiaomei walked out of the hospital. When they were almost at the hospital gate, Guanzin said to Li Xiaomei, Xiaomei, you take the commuter bus by yourself today. I have other things to do. Oh? An appointment? Li Xiaomei was slightly stunned, then looked at Guanzin mischievously and smiled. It's not with that Kang Xiaoming, is it? How is that possible? Guanzin glared at her. I would never date him, don't guess. My father came to Songshan City for business and will pick me up home in the evening. Haha, so that's the case. Li Xiaomei nodded. Isn't that the legendary major shareholder? The dean should come out to greet him. Right, my dad was just passing through, not coming to the hospital for a big inspection. Why would he notify the dean? Guanzin was a bit amused. Okay, I'm leaving now. With that, Guanzin ran towards an Audi A6L parked in front of the hospital. The car was parked discreetly not far from the entrance and hadn't entered the hospital, so no one had yet realized it was the car of hospital shareholder Guanzia Oxiang. Mr. Ming, Guanzin is here, Wang Shubin reminded Kang Xiaoming upon seeing Guanzin. Oh? Isn't she taking the commuter bus? Kang Xiaoming was stunned. His original plan was to wait for Guanzin to board the commuter bus, and then the three of them would quietly follow behind in their cars. Once they were sure Guanzin had returned home, they would pay her a visit. But he hadn't expected Guanzin to board the bus. Could she have something else to do today? No, Mr. Ming, she's in that Audi A6L. It has a Songjiang license plate, Zhu Xiaozhang exclaimed, pointing in the direction Guanzin had run. A license plate from Songjiang City? Could it be that Guanzin is meeting her lover? Kang Xiaoming's face darkened immediately. The driver of the black Audi A6L was most likely a man, and the light from the car when Guanzin opened the door also indicated it was a man. It doesn't seem so? That man seems quite old, Zhu Xiaozhang, with his sharp eyes, said quickly. Could she be someone's mistress? It would have been fine if Zhu Xiaozhang hadn't said anything, but Kang Xiaoming's face darkened even further. Check who owns this car. Oh my god, I'm so angry. Kang Xiaoming felt deeply insulted. He had originally thought Guanzin hadn't accepted his confession because she was too pure as a blank slate, never in a relationship, and subconsciously on guard. But now it seemed otherwise. Zhu Xiaozhang and Wang Shubin had no connections in Songshan City, but in Donghae City, thanks to Kang Xiaoming, he knew quite a few people. With a simple phone call, he got information about the car from a friend who worked in insurance. Ming Xiao, this car belongs to Mingyang Pharmaceutical Company, Limited, Zhu Xiaozhang informed Kang Xiaoming. Mingyang Pharmaceutical Company, Limited? Why does this name sound so familiar? Kang Xiaoming frowned, muttering the name silently. Now I remember, Ming Xiao, isn't this Mingyang Pharmaceutical Company, Limited, the company that Guanzin's father runs? Wang Shubin had previously carefully researched Guanzin's information. When Kang Xiaoming was pursuing Guanzin, he was the one who gathered the intelligence. This information had also come to Kang Xiaoming's attention, so it seemed familiar to him. Chapter 864 Kang Xiaoming's Visit. That's right, Kang Xiaoming also remembered after Wang Shubin's reminder. So, the man just now might be Guanzin's father. It should be, otherwise he must be her father's driver. Wang Shubin nodded. Mr. Ming, it suddenly occurred to me that if you visit Guanzin's father Guanzia Oxiang, it should be more effective than visiting Guanzumin. Oh? How do you say that? Kang Xiaoming asked hurriedly. Mr. Ming, doesn't your Kangshenya Pharmaceutical Company cooperate with many hospitals? The First People's Hospital and the Second Hospital are both like this. Aren't they all Guanzin's old subsidiaries? Zhu Xiaozhang interrupted and said, in this case, Guanzia Oxiang will definitely not offend you openly because of his cooperative relationship with the Kang family. As long as he agrees for you to contact Guanzin, your goal will be achieved. Well, that makes sense. Let's go. Get in the car, we'll follow them and see where they go. Kang Xiaoming nodded. Guan Zioxiang had never learned reconnaissance or counter-reconnaissance, so he hadn't noticed that a Porsche Cayenne was slowly catching up with him from behind. He was still chatting with Guanzin as if nothing had happened. Xixin, are you busy at work? Are you tired? Not bad, a little tiring sometimes, but I like this job. Guanzin nodded. If you feel tired, come to Dad's company, right? You can't be a nurse for the rest of your life, right? Guan Zioxiang said with a smile. He had always wanted Guanzin to come to his company, but Guanzin didn't agree. No, I want to stay here with Grandpa. Guanzin shook her head. Guan Zioxiang sighed and didn't bring up the topic anymore. Instead, he asked, is your grandpa in good health? Not bad. Grandpa is in a good mood recently because of the company, Guanzin said. Company? You have to keep an eye on your grandfather for me. He has never done business in his life. Don't let him be cheated, or he will lose his reputation. Guan Zioxiang was a little unhappy when he heard that his father had started a company. When he started his own business, he also wanted to use his father's name as a springboard to make some achievements, especially that Lin Yi. He is so young, and I don't know what talents he has, but your grandfather praises him so much. But after he expressed his idea, his father rejected it sternly. He said that he was afraid that he would be cheated by his friends and his reputation would be affected. Fortunately, he had the help of a noble person and was able to expand his business. Otherwise, he might not even be able to marry a girlfriend. Guanzin's mother. Guanzin's mother's family strongly opposed it at the time. So every time Guan Zioxiang thought of this matter, he always felt like there was a thorn in his heart. Although it has been so long, the relationship between father and son is still a little estranged. Although they care about each other, they are not very close. No, Lin Yi is a good person, he wouldn't lie to Grandpa. Guanzin subconsciously defended Lin Yi after hearing what her father said, but as soon as she opened her mouth, she felt that she was a little too impatient and blushed. Seeing his daughter's expression, Guan Zioxiang frowned. Could it be that his daughter had a crush on Lin Yi? Guan Zioxiang did not continue on this topic. The car slowly drove into Songshan Medical University and parked in front of the door of his father's villa. Although the relationship between father and son seemed to be not harmonious, Guan Zioxiang would still go home to visit Guan Zuman every time he came back for business. Guan Zuman's relationship with his son had been the same over the years, and he was used to it. Seeing his son come back, he nodded and did not say much. He went back to the study to continue his work. Guan Zioxiang sat on the sofa in the living room and chatted with Guanzin about some things in the hospital. Kang Xiaoming followed Guan Zioxiang's car all the way to the gate of Guan Zuman's villa. In order to pursue Guanzin, he specially bought a fake medical university pass just to facilitate access to the family area. Ming Xiao, it seems that the man should be Guanzin's father. If it was the driver, he would not be able to enter the villa. Shall we go visit him tonight? Wang Shubin asked. Well, let's go buy some gifts first, and then go visit him. After Kang Xiaoming confirmed that this person was Guanzin's father Guan Zioxiang, he felt relieved. Kang Xiaoming, carrying some famous cigarettes and liquors, was pushed by Wang Shubin to the gate of the villa and rang the doorbell of Guan Zuman's house. Zhu Xiaozhang was arranged to stay in the car. His personality was not suitable for him to be brought in. When Aunt Liu opened the door, she was stunned to see Kang Xiaoming in his wheelchair and Wang Shubin pushing him. She asked, "Excuse me, are you here to see Professor Guan?" "No, I'm Kang Xiaoming, the second grandson of the legendary Dr. Kang from the East China Sea. I've come to visit Mr. Guan Zioxiang," Kang Xiaoming said. "Oh, wait a moment, I'll ask for you." Aunt Liu nodded, but without opening the iron gate outside, she turned back to the living room. "Aunt Liu, who's here?" Guan Zioxiang asked, puzzled, noticing that Aunt Liu hadn't brought anyone in. "Mr. Guan, someone claiming to be Kang Xiaoming, the second grandson of the legendary Dr. Kang from the East China Sea, wants to visit you." "What do you think?" Aunt Liu asked. "Oh? Someone from the Kang family?" Guan Zioxiang was stunned. "I'll go check." Guanzin's expression changed. She hadn't expected Kang Xiaoming to actually come to her house. What was his plan? He was about to tell his father not to go, but when he saw that his father had already stood up, he stopped talking and thought, let him in and explain it to him. Guan Zioxiang and Liu Ma came to the door together, and saw Kang Xiaoming sitting in a wheelchair, and he couldn't help but be stunned. He had never seen Kang Xiaoming, but he didn't expect Kang Xiaoming to come in a wheelchair, and couldn't help asking, "Are you Kang Xiaoming? What's wrong with you, Uncle Guan?" "Hello, I am Kang Xiaoming." Kang Xiaoming saw Guan Xiaoxiang coming to greet him, and hurriedly said, "I was just hit a few days ago. It's okay, it's an ordinary bone fracture, it will heal soon." Guan Xiaoxiang didn't ask more, but opened the iron gate and let Kang Xiaoming and Wang Shubin into the villa. "Kang Xiaoming, you don't mind me calling you that?" "It's okay, Uncle Guan, you can call me Xiaoming," Kang Xiaoming said respectfully. He wanted to leave a good impression in front of Guan Xiaoxiang, so he naturally pretended to be a good young man. Guan Xiaoxiang nodded. "Kang Xiaoming, are you here to visit me? I wonder if you have something to say? Are you representing your grandfather, or, well, Uncle Guan? How about we go to the study and talk?" Kang Xiaoming was afraid that Guan Xin would refute him when he spoke, so he suggested that Guan Xiaoxiang take him to the study to talk. Chapter 865 Guan Xin is engaged. "Okay, please come in." Although Guan Xiaoxiang couldn't figure out Kang Xiaoming's purpose, he was, after all, a member of the Donghe Kang family. They were all in the same business, and his company and the Kang family had many collaborations, so he couldn't neglect Kang Xiaoming. After entering the study, Guan Xiaoxiang sat on the sofa. Kang Xiaoming was already in a wheelchair, so Guan Xiaoxiang stopped being polite and looked at Wang Shubin and asked, "Who is this, Uncle Guan?" "Don't worry about him. He's my friend. Just let him stand here," Kang Xiaoming said, waving his hand. "Okay, then, why are you here?" Guan Xiaoxiang was really confused as to why Kang Xiaoming was here, and why he was here to visit him. How did he know he would come to his father's place tonight? Although he was confused, he didn't show it on his face. Instead, he planned to listen to what Kang Xiaoming had to say. "Uncle Guan, I'm a little embarrassed to come visit you this time." Kang Xiaoming scratched his scalp pretending to be honest. "I'm not here to represent my grandfather, nor to represent Kengshan Medical Pharmaceutical Group, but for myself." "Oh," Guan Xiaoxiang frowned slightly, but only made a puzzled sound and did not continue to ask. "Hey Uncle Guan, I'm sorry to bother you, but I really have no choice," Kang Xiaoming said a little embarrassedly. "A while ago, my leg was broken, wasn't it? I was staying in the hospital, and it was Miss Guan Xin who took good care of me, so I was able to recover and be discharged so early. Miss Guan Xin's gentleness, beauty and generosity deeply touched me. As the saying goes, a beautiful lady is a gentleman's dream. I really admire Miss Guan Xin very much. I want to make friends with her. I hope Uncle Guan don't object. A beautiful lady is a gentleman's dream? Do you mean, you want to be friends with Guan Xin?" Guan Xiaoxiang frowned even tighter. "Haha, Uncle Guan, what you said is almost the same. However, I am not saying that I will be friends with Guan Xin right away. I just hope that you will give me a chance. If it is not suitable, I will leave quietly." Kang Xiaoming tried his best to make himself sound very pitiful. He just wanted a chance. In this way, coupled with a cooperative relationship between the two families, Guan Xiaoxiang would not refuse him this face. After he finished speaking, he was waiting for Guan Xiaoxiang to agree, but he did not expect to be rejected. "I'm sorry, I can't agree to your request." After hearing what Kang Xiaoming said, Guan Xiaoxiang rejected his proposal without a doubt, without giving him any face at all. Although Kang Xiaoming's words were straightforward, they were polite and seemed a bit honest, which made people feel that he had no bad intentions. This was also what he had specially discussed with Wang Shubin before. In front of someone like Guan Xiaoxiang, the more smooth you act, the less likely he would like you. So Kang Xiaoming pretended to be honest, but he did not expect Guan Xiaoxiang to directly refuse, which made Kang Xiaoming dumbfounded. This, Kang Xiaoming couldn't accept it all of a sudden. Why? What he said was so good. He just wanted a chance. It didn't mean that he wanted to be with Guan Xin. So this is not okay? Thinking of this, Kang Xiaoming was a little annoyed, but in order not to anger Guan Xiaoxiang, he could only suppress his anger and asked, "Uncle Guan, why is this? Guan Xin is not young anymore, right? She is also at the age of getting married. And me, is there something that makes your uncle dissatisfied? Just tell me, if possible, I will change it. This has nothing to do with you." Guan Xiaoxiang waved his hand. "Logically speaking, you are the grandson of Mr. Kang and my junior. I should be able to give you this opportunity, but I can't. Why? Because Xixin has been engaged to someone else since she was a child. It's the kind of marriage arranged by finger-pointing. So this has nothing to do with whether I am satisfied with you or not. Guanxin already has a fiancé. How can I let her date you? This is totally unrealistic. Already have a fiancé? Kang Xiaoming's face turned green. He originally thought that Guan Zhioxiang had heard of his bad reputation, so he refused, but he didn't expect it was because of this reason now. If it was a problem on his side, Kang Xiaoming would be able to solve it, but now it was a problem on Guanxin's side. How could he solve it? Guan Zhioxiang had already told him very clearly that Guanxin had a fiancé, so no matter how hard he tried, wouldn't it be useless? Guanxin and Guan Zhioxiang had already excluded him, and no matter what he said, it would be impossible for Guan Zhioxiang to change his mind. Kang Xiaoming didn't think that Guan Zhioxiang had deliberately deceived him, because there was no need to lie about such things. With Guan Zhioxiang's worth, he could just refuse without finding any excuses to prevaricate himself. The Kang family is not a noble family yet, so it is normal for Guan Zhioxiang not to give him face. So Guan Zhioxiang's words made Kang Xiaoming believe it, and made him completely give up. Since she already had a fiancé, there was no way Guanxin would be with him. Kang Xiaoming sighed and said with some resignation, "In that case, I'm sorry to bother you, Uncle Guan. Kang Xiaoming, you're the grandson of Dr. Kang. Born into a medical family, you're quite talented. Don't you have to worry about this? Xixin is already engaged. That can't be changed. I hope you can get over it." Guan Zhioxiang tried to persuade him. After all, Kang Xiaoming was the grandson of Dr. Kang, so Guan Zhioxiang had to give him some respect. Hearing Guan Zhioxiang's words, Kang Xiaoming believed them even more. However, his evil thoughts suddenly surfaced. His eyes lit up, and he asked in a questioning tone, "I heard Guanxin is very close to a man named Lin Yi. Could that be Guanxin's fiancé?" Kang Xiaoming knew Lin Yi couldn't be Guanxin's fiancé, but he deliberately said this to sow discord. "Oh? Lin Yi?" Guan Zhioxiang's expression was slightly displeased. "Lin Yi again? Is there really something going on between Guanxin and Lin Yi?" However, in front of Kang Xiaoming, Guan Zhioxiang naturally wouldn't say anything more about his daughter. He just said lightly, "Don't worry about this." Kang Xiaoming sneered in his heart, Lin Yi, I'll let you offend me. If I can't pick up a girl, you can't either." "Humph," he said calmly, "Okay, Uncle Guan, in that case, I'll take my leave first, then I won't see you off. Goodbye." Guan Zhioxiang knew the purpose of Kang Xiaoming's visit and had no intention of getting involved with him. Guanxin saw her father and Kang Xiaoming enter the study and felt a little worried. She didn't know what Kang Xiaoming would say to her father, so after they entered the study, she tiptoed to the door and carefully listened to the conversation inside. Chapter 866, Marry Even If You Don't Want To. Nanny Liu Ma usually spends most of her time with Guanxin and Guan Zumin. Although she had a good relationship with Guan Zhioxiang when he was little, they have become a little distant now. Therefore, she turned a blind eye to Guanxin's eavesdropping behavior. When Guanxin heard Kang Xiaoming tell her father that he wanted to be her friend, her heart was in her throat. She was really worried that her father didn't know Kang Xiaoming well and would think he was a young talent and agree to let him date her. Fortunately, her father was smart enough to reject Kang Xiaoming outright. However, his reason was so strange. He actually said that he had a fiancé and that they were engaged at the time of birth. In today's society, are there still such things as engagements arranged at the time of birth? It's really strange, isn't it? She didn't expect that her father, who looks so old-fashioned, could have such a quirky side. Guanxin found it a little funny. However, what made her happiest was that Kang Xiaoming actually believed her father's words and really decided to give up pursuing her. What a fool. In reality, Guanxin was mistaken. In a large family like Kang Xiaoming, marriages were arranged by parents and matchmakers. This was a matter of course. Just like his brother's marriage to Wang Zinayan from the Zhao family, it was also decided by the elders. Once decided, the younger generation couldn't change it. Kang Xiaoming assumed Guanxin must be the same way, and no matter what he did, he couldn't change it. So, he had no choice but to give up. Hearing Kang Xiaoming leave, Guanxin quickly dodged and sat on the sofa nearby, pretending to watch TV as if nothing had happened. Kang Xiaoming opened the study door and was pushed out by Wang Shubin. He glanced dejectedly at Guanzin, who was sitting on the sofa watching TV, and sighed helplessly. He knew Guanzin's personality. How could she be friends with him when she was already engaged? So, he didn't even bother to say anything. To him, a girl he couldn't pick up was useless, no matter how pretty she was. So, he simply let Wang Shubin push him out of Guanzuman's villa and left in disgrace. Guanzin blushed as she saw her father emerge from the study. After all, she had just overheard his conversation with Kang Xiaoming. While not a big deal, it wasn't exactly fair. Seeing her father looking at her, Guanzin felt a little embarrassed. She hadn't done anything wrong, so she admitted her actions immediately. Dad, that Kang Xiaoming was lying. I didn't nurse him. Oh? You heard everything? Guanzhao didn't expect his daughter to eavesdrop. Seeing her blush, he nodded in understanding. He doesn't look like a good person. Don't have any contact with him anymore, I know. I don't associate with him, Guanzin said. He's the one who pestered me. Well, and that Lin Yi, you should stay away from him too. Don't get too close to him. You're a girl, you have to protect your reputation, Guanzhao added, remembering Lin Yi. He had always been prejudiced against Lin Yi. Ever since he and Guanzuman formed the company, Guanzhao had disliked him. Ah. Lin Yi is a good person, he's not a bad person. Unlike Kang Xiaoming, Guanzin was stunned, but shook her head, not understanding why her father kept pestering Lin Yi. I've already told you, you're a girl, you should be careful about your influence, Guanzhao said seriously. Besides, you're engaged. If any rumors get out, it won't be good for your reputation. This was the first time Guanzhao spoke to Guanzin in such a stern and unquestionable manner. Ah, Guanzin was stunned for a moment, and looked at Guanzhao with some suspicion. Dad, what engagement are you talking about? Isn't that an excuse for you to deceive Kang Xiaoming to give up? How come I have an engagement? That's not an excuse. Guanzhao waved his hand and said, Xixin, you are not a child anymore, it's time to tell you about this. In fact, before you were born, your mother and I arranged a marriage for you. Now that you have grown up, it doesn't matter if I tell you about this. How can this be? Guanzin was suddenly at a loss after hearing what her father said. The shock brought to her by this news was too great. She had never thought that she was already engaged, and now she had a fiancé out of nowhere? Why not? Parents' orders and matchmakers' words, it has been like this since ancient times. Guanzhao didn't expect his usually docile daughter to question it. His brows frowned even deeper. Could it be that his daughter and that Lin Yi really had something going on? Dad, what era is this? Why are we still talking about arranged marriages? I haven't even met the man you're talking about, how can I possibly marry him? Besides, it's been so many years, how can it even count? Can you help me reject it? Guanzin found it unbelievable. This was truly unbelievable, and she couldn't accept it. Why are you rejecting it? You absolutely can't. Guanzhao left no room for maneuver. You have to marry him in the future, and no one can change that. I won't marry. Guanzin, always a good girl, vehemently objected to her father's proposal for the first time. This concerned her lifelong happiness. How could she compromise? You have to marry me, Guanzhao snorted, a little angry. I'm the one who's in charge of this matter. Nothing you say matters. Why? I haven't even met that man, and I don't know what he looks like or what he does. Should I marry him? Guanzin's eyes widened, and she said stubbornly, I just won't marry him. I don't like him. If you don't like him, who do you like? Guanzhao asked back. I like him, but I just don't like him, Guanzin almost blurted out. Her face flushed, and she quickly stopped. Do you like that Lin Yi? How could Guanzhao not see what his daughter was thinking? You'd better break up with him as soon as possible, otherwise I'll get someone to break his legs. Your marriage was agreed upon by your mother and me. That man has been very kind to me. My career today was given to me by his elders. I, Guanzhao, am not a person who goes back on my word. If you think it through, it's fine. But if you don't, you have to marry me. After saying that, Guanzhao ignored Guanzin, stood up, and strode out of the villa. Guanzin cried in grievance. She couldn't understand how her father could be so overbearing and old-fashioned. He made her marry someone she didn't like. Moreover, even if that man's elders had done a favor to her father, she could just repay them in other ways. Why did he make her marry him? Chapter 867 The Powerful Guanzuman. However, Guanzin was afraid that her father would do something to hurt Lin Yi in a fit of rage, which made her very embarrassed and she didn't know what to do. Obviously, the matter had nothing to do with Lin Yi, but it implicated him. Guanzuman heard the quarrel downstairs and came down. Seeing Guanzin crying on the sofa, he was stunned at first, and then hurriedly said, "Xixin, what's wrong with you? Why are you crying here? Where is your dad?" Grandpa Guanzin cried even harder when she saw her grandfather. She had never felt so wronged. She couldn't understand how her father could control her marriage, forcing her to marry a stranger. Okay, don't cry first. Tell Grandpa what happened first. Is there anything that can be solved? Why are you still crying so sadly? Guanzuman didn't know what was wrong with Guanzin. He walked over and sat on the sofa, patted his granddaughter's shoulder, and comforted her. "Grandpa, my dad said that he had engaged me since I was a child and asked me to marry someone he had never met." Guanzin cried and told her grandfather what had happened before. "Nonsense!" Guanzuman slammed the table in anger. "Guanzioxiang is becoming more and more unruly. How can things like this be so casually decided? Xixin, don't worry, Grandpa will make the decision for you. No one else can do anything without my approval. I'm calling your dad right now." Guanzuman was also furious. Although he was a man of integrity, he was not a pedantic person. So, hearing that Guanzioxiang had arranged a marriage for Guanzin immediately irritated him. Moreover, his designated grandson-in-law was Lin Yi, so it was impossible for him to let Guanzioxiang marry Guanzin off so casually. "You little bastard, what did you say to Xixin? You made my precious granddaughter cry? What are you capable of? And you're arranging a marriage? I'm telling you, cancel this marriage right now and give up on this idea." Guanzuman dialed the phone and launched into a barrage of insults. Guanzioxiang was stunned by the scolding. His father had never scolded him like that since that time when they had a conflict over starting his own company. This suddenly made him feel like he was scolded by his father when he did something wrong as a child, which made him afraid to disobey his father. However, he really had no say in the matter his father mentioned. This was the engagement he and his wife had made with that nobleman. How could he unilaterally go back on his word? Think about how kind that person was to him back then. If it weren't for his investment and connections, would he have achieved what he has today? Would he have been recognized by his father-in-law's family? He was not an ungrateful person, so for a moment, Guanzioxiang was really embarrassed. After years of cold war with his father, Guanzioxiang knew that if his father could lose his temper with him for Guanzin today, it would be a point of easing the relationship. If he compromised, the relationship between father and son would definitely become harmonious in the future. But, could he compromise? He could not break the agreement he had made with that person. Unless that person broke the agreement, Guanzioxiang would not do such an ungrateful thing. Thinking of this, Guanzioxiang could only smile bitterly. He could not be both loyal and righteous. What should he do? He didn't want to anger his father again during this opportunity to ease the tension between them, but he couldn't take the initiative to break off the engagement. "Dad, I can listen to you on other matters, but I really can't change this one. This was originally arranged with that noble man, and you know him." Guanzioxiang sighed and said, "How can I break off the engagement? But have you ever thought about Xixin's happiness? In that case, when that man comes, let him come to me. Just say that I ruined the marriage." Guanzuman was amused by his son's anger. "He helped you, and I also helped his wife with her leg. If he doesn't want to, just come to me. If you let Xixin get married again, I will make her sever her father-son relationship with you and make her have a cold war with you, just like you and I did back then." After saying that, Guanzuman hung up the phone with a click, ignoring what Guanzioxiang said. Guanzioxiang held the phone, feeling a little amused and helpless. He didn't know what to say. His father actually used the same thing he did back then to threaten him. However, at least his father took over the matter and promised that if there was any problem, he would let the nobleman find him. This did reduce Guanzioxiang's pressure a little, but he still didn't want to break his promise. It seemed that he could only convince his father slowly about this matter. Now that his father was angry, calling him to talk about this matter would undoubtedly make the already tense father-son relationship even more tense, which was not what Guanzioxiang wanted to see. Guanzuman hung up the phone, and Guanzin on the other end burst into laughter. Seeing her grandfather standing up for her so strongly, Guanxin felt that her father would definitely compromise. Yes, if it really didn't work out, she would just be nice to her grandfather and learn from her father when he was young, and go into Cold War with him to see what he could do to her. If she didn't marry him, it would be useless even if he beat her to death. Xixing, are you happy now? Grandpa is on your side. Don't worry, as long as Grandpa doesn't agree, no one can marry you off. Guanxin could still do this. Thank you, Grandpa. Guanxin smiled happily. What are you thanking me for? Okay, go wash your face. Auntie Liu is about to prepare dinner. Let's go eat something together. Guanxin nodded with a smile. Guanxin happily ran to wash her face. She didn't know that her father still hadn't given up on this matter. Kang Xiaoming came out of Guanxin's house and got into the car very depressed, with a bitter face. Zhu Xiaozhang, who stayed in the car, saw Kang Xiaoming coming out with a sad face, and suddenly felt a little strange. Mr. Ming, what's wrong with you? Why, Guanxin's father doesn't agree with your relationship. Oh, don't mention it. It's hard to explain. Kang Xiaoming felt that his previous time and money were wasted. The most unfortunate thing was that he broke his leg and gave Xiaofan hundreds of thousands of dollars in vain. It was really a big loss. Let me explain. Wang Shubin looked at Zhu Xiaozhang and explained, Guanxin has already been promised to her husband. It was an engagement made when she was a child, and this cannot be changed. So Guan Xiaoxiang will definitely not let Ming Xiao and Guanxin interact with each other. With the engagement, it is impossible for Guanxin to date Ming Xiao. For the sake of her future reputation, it is even more impossible for her to do anything that would damage her reputation. So, there is no hope for Guanxin. Wang Shubin entered the villa with Kang Xiaoming, so what he said was also seen with his own eyes. After hearing this, Zhu Xiaozhang didn't need to ask Kang Xiaoming anymore. He just said depressedly, in that case, all our previous efforts were in vain. Chapter 868 Encounter at the School Gate. It's all in vain. Kang Xiaoming waved his hand in annoyance and said, it's all in vain, but the key problem is that I can't pursue Guanxin and get the prescription. My family is pressing me hard, and my plan has failed. Kang Xiaoming was very worried that his position in the Kang family would be in jeopardy. Although if he told his family the truth, they might not blame him. After all, it's not that he didn't work hard, but that he couldn't achieve it even if he tried. Guanxin was already promised to someone else. Even if Kang Xiaoming was Pan and reincarnated, she couldn't break off the engagement and get together with you, right? But what Kang Xiaoming was afraid of was that although the main responsibility for this matter was not his, he was also responsible for the previous inadequate investigation. If he had found out earlier that Guanxin was engaged, would he have had to go to so much trouble to pursue her? Would that be a waste of time? As Kang Xiaoming's subordinate, Wang Shubin was naturally very anxious. The saying prosperity and adversity are shared is exactly this principle. He understood very well that if the skin is gone, where will the hair be attached? Kang Xiaoming's position in the Kang family is no longer secure, and his prestige is gone. How can his two subordinates have a good life? Therefore, it has become Wang Shubin's responsibility to help Kang Xiaoming solve his problems. After hearing Guan Xiaoxiang reject Kang Xiaoming, he began to think about the next countermeasures. Young Master Ming, since this road is blocked, then we won't go. Not going? How can I explain to my family? I boasted at the beginning that I would be able to get Guanxin, Kang Xiaoming said bitterly, but who knew that she was already engaged? I can't explain to my family now. Doesn't this make me seem incompetent? Otherwise, Wang Shubin waved his hand and said, Young Master Ming, if you consider the problem from another angle, this matter will be much simpler. In fact, your pursuit of Guanxin is not the fundamental purpose. The fundamental purpose is just to get the prescription. If you didn't pursue Guanxin and got the prescription, wouldn't you have completed the task as well? I think Dr. Kang values the prescription, not Guanxin. Well, that's true. However, if I don't get Guanxin, where can I get the prescription? Kang Xiaoming felt that what Wang Shubin said made sense, but he was a little confused. There are many ways to get the prescription, such as stealing, robbing, threatening, etc. We don't have to start with Guanxin. We can still start with other people in Guanshenya Pharmaceutical Company. Wang Shubin said, I heard that your brother Kang Xiaobo is also the vice president of Guanshenya Pharmaceutical Company. Yeah, it makes me angry when I talk about this. Kang Xiaobo is actually the vice president. He is more awesome than me. I'm so angry. He is just a relative of the Kang family, But he is doing better than me. Kang Xiaoming felt a little indignant when he thought of Kang Xiaobo. The news that Kang Xiaobo became the vice president of Guanshenye Pharmaceutical Company was not a secret. Guanshenye Pharmaceutical Company had already announced it to the media. Young Master Ming, as the saying goes, brothers fight together in war, and fathers and sons fight together, Wang Shubin said. Think about it, you and Kang Xiaobo are cousins. And although he's the vice president of Guanshenye Pharmaceutical Company, I guess he doesn't make much money now, right? I think you can go find Kang Xiaobo. After all, he is a member of the Kang family. You can reason with him, move him with emotion, and then promise him a huge profit. It should not be difficult to get the prescription from him. Kang Xiaobo knows the prescription for the longevity and detoxification pill? Impossible. Although he is the vice president, this prescription should only be known to senior executives such as Guan Zuman and Fatty Lai, right? Kang Xiaoming was not stupid either. He shook his head and said, Mr. Ming, your top priority right now is not to find the recipe for the longevity and detoxification pill. That can be put on hold for now. Have you forgotten the new task that Mr. Kang Xiaolong gave you? He asked you to get the formula and raw material supply channels for Dr. Guan's trauma medicine, Wang Shubin said. As long as you can find out these two things now, it will be a great achievement. As for the recipe for the longevity and detoxification pill, we will slowly find a way. Well, that's true. The trauma medicine is not important. Kang Xiaobo should also know the formula and supply channels. Kang Xiaoming nodded and said, that's a good idea. I'll go find Kang Xiaobo tomorrow and have a good talk with him, and get the formula and raw material supply channels from him. Young Master Ming, you must keep two things in mind. One is to play the family card. You must let Kang Xiaobo know that the rise and fall of the Kang family is the responsibility of every member of the Kang family. You can promise him some benefits, such as giving him some shares of Guanshenye Pharmaceutical Company after you take control of the Kang family. Anyway, these things are all nonsense, and you don't know when it will be the time when you take control of the Kang family, Wang Shubin instructed. In addition, you must also give him some benefits that can be seen now. Did you give Xiaofan a sum of money before? You can say that this is also for the face of Kang Xiaoming. This time, you give Kang Xiaoming some more money, otherwise he will not cooperate if he cannot see the existing benefits. Well, you make sense. Kang Xiaoming nodded. I see, Shubin, you really deserve to be a think tank. I thought there was no way out and was ready to go home in disgrace to accept criticism. I didn't expect you to have so many ideas. Haha, it is my duty to give advice to you, young Master Ming. Wang Shubin smiled somewhat complacently. The next day at noon, Kang Xiaoming arrived to visit Kang Xiaobo, carrying a black suitcase filled with 300,000 yuan. Kang Xiaobo's internship at Kengshan Medical Pharmaceutical Company every afternoon had already been arranged with his homeroom teacher, Teacher Liu. Seeing Kang Xiaobo's promising future, Teacher Liu naturally wouldn't stand in his way. What's the point of going to college? Isn't it to learn a few skills and then get a good job with a diploma? Now that Kang Xiaobo had already transcended that and landed a good job, Teacher Liu naturally had no objections. Kang Xiaoming knew Kang Xiaobo's daily schedule by heart. As Kang Xiaobo left school at noon, Kang Xiaoming popped his head out the rear window of his Porsche Cayenne and said, "Brother, over here." At first, Kang Xiaobo didn't recognize the voice as calling him. It felt familiar. But who would call him brother right at the school gate? So, he ignored it. But then the voice repeated, "Xiaobo, over here." Kang Xiaobo finally noticed. He looked up and saw it was Kang Xiaoming. He was startled, his expression suddenly uneasy. Last time, Lin Yi and I had really tricked Kang Xiaoming at Xiaofan's house. I don't know if Kang Xiaoming noticed it or not. It was him and Lin Yi who had done it, so Kang Xiaobo subconsciously thought that Kang Xiaoming was here to ask for an explanation. Chapter 869 Lin Yi is everywhere. Kang Xiaoming, what's up? Even so, Kang Xiaobo wasn't afraid of Kang Xiaoming. The two had already had a falling out on the birthday party, and now there were no more concerns. Kang Xiaobo simply addressed Kang Xiaoming by name. "Hey, brother, why are you so distant from me, your cousin? You're still calling me Kang Xiaoming, when you should be calling me second cousin," Kang Xiaoming said with a smile. Huh? Kang Xiaobo was stunned by Kang Xiaoming's words. What did Kang Xiaoming mean? Did he get kicked in the head by a donkey and act like a fool? "Brother, what are you still standing there for? Get in the car. It's been a while since we last met, has it? Kang Xiaoming waved to Kang Xiaobo. He had Zhu Xiaozhang drive, Wang Shubin sat in the passenger seat, and a seat in the back row was reserved for Kang Xiaobo. Kang Xiaoming, what do you want? Kang Xiaobo frowned. Long time no see? Did I see you giving Xiaofan some money the other day? Xiaobo, you're still wary of me, your cousin. Haha, I've come this time to apologize. Back then, when I was young and naive, I did some outrageous things. I hope you'll forgive me. Kang Xiaoming, of course, said whatever he wanted, just to get Kang Xiaobo to come closer. Just then, Lin Yi and Tang Yun emerged from the school gates, hand in hand. Seeing Kang Xiaobo speaking to him with a wary expression, they felt a little strange and asked, Xiaobo, what are you doing, boss? Kang Xiaobo was overjoyed upon seeing Lin Yi. He had been at a loss for what to do, wondering what Kang Xiaoming was up to. Deep down, he didn't want to waste time talking to him. First, from a family perspective, how had Kang Xiaoming treated Kang Xiaobo since childhood? How could Kang Xiaobo not hate him? Second, from an emotional perspective, he had once toyed with Kang Xiaobo's girlfriend, Xiaofan, causing her great pain. Kang Xiaobo was already giving Kang Xiaoming face by not scolding her. Kang Xiaoming naturally didn't know that Lin Yi was the head of Guanshenya Pharmaceutical Company. To this day, the Kang family still believe that Guan Zuman was the real boss of Guanshenya Pharmaceutical Company, and that Lin Yi was a mere figurehead. As for Kang Xiaobo's appointment to Guanshenya Pharmaceutical Company, Kang Xiaoming didn't credit Lin Yi. He believed that Kang Xiaobo must have offered Guan Zuman the recipe for the golden cure medicine in exchange for the position of vice president. In fact, Lin Yi always gave his enemies this same impression, harmless, seemingly omnipresent, yet unknown. Therefore, Kang Xiaoming didn't take Lin Yi seriously, speaking or acting without regard for him. Still anxiously, he urged, Xiaobo, get in the car. Haven't you eaten yet? Let's find a place to eat, boss. This, Kang Xiaobo was a man who listened closely to Lin Yi. He always followed his lead. If Lin Yi hadn't arrived, he would have stopped talking to Kang Xiaoming and would have turned and left. But now that Lin Yi was here, he wanted Lin Yi to make the decision. Oh, since Kang Xiaoming is treating, then there's no harm in going. Let's go and see, Lin Yi shrugged. He also wanted to see what tricks Kang Xiaoming would come up with. Boss, will you accompany me? Kang Xiaobo asked after a moment's hesitation. Why don't you ask your cousin if he agrees? Lin Yi asked with a smile. Kang Xiaobo and Lin Yi did not deliberately avoid Kang Xiaoming when they spoke. So Kang Xiaoming heard everything they said clearly. Kang Xiaoming was anxious to get a prescription from Kang Xiaobo, and seeing that Kang Xiaobo listened to Lin Yi very much, he planned to invite Lin Yi along. The last time Xiaofan took his money, Lin Yi was also there, so Kang Xiaoming felt that Lin Yi was not an upright person, or at least very greedy for money, so there was no need to avoid Lin Yi on this matter. As long as there was benefit, Lin Yi would probably let Kang Xiaobo take it. So, before Kang Xiaobo could ask, Kang Xiaoming spoke up. Lin Yi, we're considered friends and have met a few times. How about we have dinner together? Kang Xiaoming no longer pursued Guan Xin, so his hatred for Lin Yi had faded considerably. Especially since he'd silently plotted against Lin Yi at Guan Xiaoxiang's last night, Kang Xiaoming felt relieved. Since there was no conflict of interest between them, Kang Xiaoming didn't mind Lin Yi coming along. You guys go. I won't go, Tang Yun said, knowing Lin Yi was preoccupied. It's okay, let's go together. Lin Yi glanced at Kang Xiaoming and said, have one of your people get out of your car and follow in a taxi. With 3 of us, your car won't be big enough. Kang Xiaoming was furious. Wasn't this bullying? I treated you to dinner, and you're asking my people to get out? But he was determined to curry favor with Kang Xiaobo so he could get prescriptions and raw material sources from him, so he couldn't afford to offend Lin Yi. Kang Xiaoming's expression shifted again and again, and he angrily said to Wang Shubin, Shubin, help me sit in the passenger seat, and then you can follow us in the taxi. Kang Xiaoming took the passenger seat, while Lin Yi, Tang Yun, and Kang Xiaobo sat in the back seat of the Porsche Cayenne. Kang Xiaoming instructed Zhu Xiaozhang to find a more upscale hotel, and they all settled into a private room. With Lin Yi by his side, Kang Xiaobo felt at ease and wasn't afraid of Kang Xiaoming. He decided to make the best of it, so he overcharged Kang Xiaoming when ordering. However, Since Kang Xiaoming had come to curry favor with Kang Xiaobo, he didn't mind. Xiaobo, I heard you're now the vice president of Guanshen Pharmaceutical Company. Kang Xiaoming casually added a few dishes after Kang Xiaobo finished ordering, then dismissed the waiter. Yes, Kang Xiaobo didn't know what Kang Xiaoming meant, so he replied sparingly. Lin Yi and Tang Yun stood aside, as if they had nothing to do with it. Lin Yi snatched the teapot that Kang Xiaoming was about to get, poured Tang Yun a glass of water, and said, "Would you like some water?" Tang Yun was a little nervous at first. She didn't like Kang Xiaoming very much. The sight of him reminded her of the miserable Xiaofan. But now that Lin Yi was by her side, she felt a lot more at ease. Yet, Tang Yun picked up the cup and drank the tea in small sips. Suddenly, she found Lin Yi staring at her intently, and a blush immediately appeared on her face. Lin Yi watched Tang Yun drinking water. From the side, she looked like someone from the cover of a romance novel, very youthful and playful, with a sunny air about her. When he saw her, Lin Yi felt that his life was wonderful. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelis. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 870, A Strange Dinner. The absence of enemies and villains made Lin Yi's life feel peaceful, a break from the hectic pace of his previous life. Lin Yi wondered if this was a good thing. Was it truly peaceful, the end of things, or just a calm before the storm? At the moment, the latter seemed more likely. With Yu Kun crippled by him, there was no way the Yu family wouldn't be making a move. Perhaps they were hatching some plan. And as for the others, hadn't Kang Xiaoming shown up? Lin Yi never believed a bad person could suddenly become a good person without warning. Could he have had an epiphany? Kang Xiaoming was just like that. His inexplicable change of heart made Lin Yi think he had some agenda. Therefore, Lin Yi ignored him and continued to eat his own way, much to Kang Xiaoming's annoyance. Having failed to grab the tea, Kang Xiaoming could only withdraw his hand in frustration. His legs were weak, and he couldn't stand. After Lin Yi finished using the kettle, he had placed it far away, out of reach. Ahem, Xiaobo, you're a member of the Kang family, after all. We're a family of pharmacists. If you want a vice president position, you should come to Kangshin Pharmaceutical Company. Why choose one for an outsider? If word gets out, wouldn't that be disgraceful to the Kang family? Kang Xiaoming coughed twice before continuing. Oh? The Kang family? Kang Xiaobo sneered. Am I related to the Kang family? Besides my last name, when have you ever even considered me? So, are you here to arrange a vice president position for me at Kangshin Pharmaceutical Company? Haha. Not to mention a vice president, even a shareholder would be no problem, Kang Xiaoming chuckled. Isn't Grandpa in charge now? When I take over, I'll definitely give you a share of the Kang family's shares, making you a shareholder of Kangshin Pharmaceutical Company. You're a member of the Kang family, after all. How could I treat you unfairly? Oh, then thank you. That's why you invited me here. Kang Xiaobo didn't believe Kang Xiaoming had called him here just to talk nonsense. Give him shares? It was completely unrealistic. He didn't believe Kang Xiaoming would give him any shares, unless the sun rose from the west. Let's eat first. Kang Xiaoming laughed, then feigned indifference and said to Zhu Xiaozhang, go and see, why are the dishes so slow to arrive? As he spoke, the waiter knocked on the door and brought in the dishes. Soon, the dishes that had been ordered were placed on the table one by one. The speed here was quite good. Lin Yi simply ignored Kang Xiaoming, Zhu Xiaozhang, and Wang Shubin. He started eating as soon as the food arrived, occasionally serving food to Tang Yun. Lin Yi didn't care at all. Tang Yun felt a little embarrassed. After all, she was a girl, and she was in the presence of some people she didn't have a good relationship with, so she was a little shy. Kang Xiaoming frowned at Lin Yi's careless eating. He was very upset, but he couldn't say it out loud. He was still hoping that Lin Yi would be able to persuade Kang Xiaobo later, so he endured it for the time being. Xiaobo, I heard that the flagship product of Dr. Guan's pharmaceutical company is also a kind of gold wound medicine? Is it similar to the gold wound medicine of Dr. Kang's pharmaceutical company? Kang Xiaoming asked casually, pretending to be nonchalant. Yes, Dr. Guan's trauma medicine. Kang Xiaobo didn't know what Kang Xiaoming was up to, so he didn't say much. He answered whatever he asked. After all, these things weren't confidential, so there was no need to hide them. Oh, and the efficacy is similar to Dr. Kang's gold wound medicine, Kang Xiaoming continued to ask. That should be it, Kang Xiaobo said. Haha, so I see. I wonder where the formula for Dr. Guan's trauma medicine came from, huh? Do you know? Kang Xiaoming finally began to explain his purpose step by step. Kang Xiaobo was no fool. After hearing Kang Xiaoming's words, he suddenly became a little annoyed, and a hint of anger flashed across his face. Kang Xiaoming's words were clearly implying that the formula for Dr. Guan's trauma medicine came from Kang Xiaobo. Instantly, Kang Xiaobo understood that Kang Xiaoming's invitation to dinner was likely motivated by this very reason, to find out if he had given out the prescription for Dr. Guan's trauma medicine. But even his grandfather hadn't even seen the prescription, let alone himself. How could he possibly have given it to someone else? So, Kang Xiaobo said coldly, how should I know, huh? If you don't know, then don't be angry. Kang Xiaoming, seeing Kang Xiaobo's anger, quickly tried to dissuade him. Why should I be angry? Kang Xiaobo said calmly, glancing at Lin Yi to see what he would say. Seeing Lin Yi still enjoying his meal, Kang Xiaobo felt reassured. Forget it, Xiaobo, since we're all Kang family, let's be frank. Can you get me a copy of Dr. Guan's trauma medicine? Seeing Kang Xiaobo's continued lack of cooperation and his sweet talk having no effect on him, Kang Xiaoming, feeling anxious, gritted his teeth and stated his purpose directly. The prescription for Dr. Guan's trauma medicine? What do you want this for? Kang Xiaobo was stunned. Don't you have the formula for Dr. Kang's golden medicine? Huh? For reference, the more the better. Kang Xiaoming smiled and said, what do you think? As the vice president of Dr. Guan's pharmaceutical company, you can definitely get this prescription, right? Of course, although we are all from the Kang family, as the saying goes, brothers should settle accounts clearly. I won't let you do it in vain. Shubin at this time, Wang Shubin took out a black leather suitcase with understanding, placed it on the edge of the table, and then opened it. It was a box full of banknotes, which made people feel dizzy. The reason why Kang Xiaoming did not use a card but cash was because the visual impact of cash is much greater than that of a bank card. He just wanted Kang Xiaobo to accept this box of banknotes under the impulse of desire. What do you mean? Kang Xiaobo frowned. It would be a lie to say that he was not tempted by a box of money in front of him, but Kang Xiaobo is a principled man. He would never sell out the interests of the company for a box of money. Not to mention, Lin Yi was sitting right next to him. Even if Lin Yi wasn't there, he wouldn't have accepted the money. So, he secretly thought that Kang Xiaoming had really miscalculated. Here's 300,000. As long as you can help me find out the formula for Dr. Guan's trauma medicine and the source of the raw materials, this box of money will be yours. Kang Xiaoming patted the box on the table and continued, this is 300,000. I believe you haven't made any money at Dr. Guan's pharmaceutical company yet, right? Chapter 871, Another Trap. Kang Xiaobo was about to open his mouth to refuse when Lin Yi spoke first. 300,000, Xiaobo, take it. Since it's your cousin's good intention, there's no reason for you to refuse, Lin Yi said, and without hesitation, he stood up and grabbed the cash box in front of Kang Xiaoming. Kang Xiaoming was immediately overjoyed, thinking to himself, this Lin Yi is not so annoying after all. He didn't come here for free. At the critical moment, he was very useful. He is greedy, but that's good. He likes greed. With Lin Yi, a greedy man, by Kang Xiaobo's side, what he wants to do will go much more smoothly. Yes, Brother Lin is right. There's no reason to refuse such a large amount of money, Kang Xiaoming agreed with a smile, but he didn't mention the subtext of the latter sentence, which was that he was taking money to help others eliminate disasters. Kang Xiaobo was stunned by Lin Yi's behavior. Why did Lin Yi ask him for money? Would that be equivalent to giving Kang Xiaoming the prescription? He couldn't help but look at Lin Yi with some surprise and suspicion, wanting to know the truth, but also worried that he would disrupt Lin Yi's plans. Xiaobo, isn't it just a prescription? As the company's vice president, you should have access to these core secrets. Why not just give the prescription to your cousin when the time comes? Lin Yi winked at Kang Xiaobo and continued, as for the source of the raw materials, I'm afraid it's not so easy to find out, but we'll try our best. Yes, let's get the prescription first. Kang Xiaoming didn't insist. As long as he could get one thing first, and he had evidence of Kang Xiaobo's bribery in his hands, Wouldn't he be able to get any information he wanted? The prescription, of course, no problem. Lin Yi patted his chest and assured, right, Xiaobo, of course I will. Kang Xiaobo saw that Lin Yi had already agreed, so how could he refuse? Although he didn't know what Lin Yi was thinking, he had no choice but to cooperate. Kang Xiaoming didn't expect to achieve his goal so easily. He was immediately elated. During dinner, he didn't exchange many pleasantries with Kang Xiaobo. They agreed that if Kang Xiaobo succeeded, he would call him directly. After leaving the restaurant, Kang Xiaoming and the others left. Kang Xiaobo, carrying a box of money, was still confused. Boss, what does this mean? They want a prescription. Do we give it to them? Oh, of course we have to. Otherwise, they'll have wasted 300,000. Lin Yi smiled, but there's no need to steal. I'll write one for you directly. As he said that, Lin Yi took out a flyer he picked up at the restaurant, wrote a prescription for Kang Xiaobo on the blank space at the back, and then said, here you go. Just call Kang Xiaoming when the time comes. Ah. Is this a real prescription? Kang Xiaobo found it a little unbelievable. He knew something about Dr. Guan's trauma medicine. It was said that the formula was different from Dr. Kang's. Not only did it reduce the cost, but the effect was also better than Dr. Kang's. If Lin Yi gave the formula to Kang Xiaoming, wouldn't that be equivalent to giving the benefits to someone else? Of course it's a real prescription. Lin Yi nodded, but smiled and said, it's just that this prescription is the prescription of Dr. Kang's golden medicine. Doesn't he suspect that you also know their prescription? That's perfect, just use this prescription to fool them. The formula of Dr. Kang's golden medicine? Boss, how do you have it? Kang Xiaobo was stunned and a little surprised. I've seen Dr. Kang's golden medicine. It should be this old recipe, but many of the herbs are very precious and the cost is too high. I replaced some of them, which not only saved the cost but also enhanced the efficacy. Lin Yi shrugged, now it's just returning the old recipe to them. A recipe they already have is sold for 300,000. Isn't it cost effective? This is a good deal. Kang Xiaobo finally understood Lin Yi's intention. Boss, you are really awesome. You just cheated Kang Xiaoming out of 300,000. It's so satisfying. Kang Xiaobo has been holding a grudge against Kang Xiaoming in his heart for a long time. If Lin Yi hadn't been here today, he would never have eaten at the same table with Kang Xiaoming. He had always wondered why Lin Yi did this, but now he knows that Kang Xiaoming was cheated by Lin Yi again. I had no intention of cheating him. I just wanted to see what he was up to, Lin Yi said with a wry smile, but since he's offering me 300,000 yuan, why wouldn't we want it? That's right. I was so scared. I thought the prescription was sold for 300,000 yuan. My heart nearly exploded. Kang Xiaobo breathed a sigh of relief. Boss, here's the money. I'm going to pick up Xiaofen from the shanty town and bring her to the company. Kang Xiaobo had been going to the company every day to study with Fatty Lai and his friends. Although Kang Xiaobo had learned a lot of theoretical knowledge, without practical application, it was just empty talk. So Kang Xiaobo cherished this internship opportunity. Xiaofen did the same, but her mobility was limited, so she naturally walked with Kang Xiaobo every day. Xiaofen's house had been demolished, and her mother had rented a place near the new one, waiting for it to be renovated and ready to move in. Take this money, get a driver's license, buy a car, otherwise it will be inconvenient for you to take Xiaofen with you every day. You can use the remaining money to buy some appliances for Xiaofen's family. Lin Yi still didn't care about the 300,000 yuan, and naturally he would not carry a box of money back to school. How can I do that? Kang Xiaobo was shocked. He had never thought that he could give him this money. Although Lin Yi was working under his name before, Kang Xiaobo still knew his own limitations and had no intention of taking the money. That's why he offered to return the money to Lin Yi when he was leaving, but he didn't expect Lin Yi to give it to him. It's okay, take it. Lin Yi patted Kang Xiaobo's shoulder and waved his hand without hesitation. Lin Yi was a person who clearly distinguished between gratitude and resentment. He would be good to his friends and very bad to his enemies. Even if his enemies didn't provoke him, Lin Yi would still punish them when he had the chance. For example, just now, Kang Xiaoming had lost another 300,000 yuan for no reason. Although Kang Xiaobo did not help Lin Yi did not care. When Zhong Pinliang came to him, Kang Xiaobo's willingness to help him was enough to make Lin Yi look at him with new eyes. Friendship is not about asking for things from each other, so Lin Yi will not ignore Kang Xiaobo just because he can't help him now. Okay. Thank you, boss. Kang Xiaobo heard Lin Yi say this and knew that Lin Yi had made a decision. He nodded gratefully and held the box heavily in his hand again. Chapter 872, Cured and Sick Again. Zhen Dazhao had been spending money like water lately, spending over 10 million yuan on Zhen Yingzhen's medical treatment at Zhaoyao Wang's. While his crooked mouth and lame leg had been cured, and the symptoms that had spread to his hands and ears had also been resolved, Zhen Yingzhen had developed another ailment: impotence. After Zhen Yingzhen's hands and ears had been healed, to celebrate his recovery, Zhen Dazhao took him to a bathhouse to wash away the bad luck. During the massage, Zhen Dazhao, on a whim, ordered a prostitute, only to tragically discover he'd become a living eunuch. Even taking several Viagra pills had no effect. Zhen Yingzhen, panicking, ignored all else and stumbled over to knock on the door of his father's private room next door. Zhen Yingzhen had called for a prostitute, so how could Zhen Dazhao just sit there and wait? Naturally, he ordered a prostitute as well. After entering the private room, they were enjoying themselves when a knock on the door suddenly sounded. He was so startled he nearly had a heart attack. This bath center is under the care of Li Chihua, and it was Li Chihua who introduced them there. It is said to be very safe, but they didn't expect to be disturbed. Zhen Dazhao put on a bathrobe and went to open the door, cursing, "Who is it, Dad? It's me, I'm Yingzhen." Zhen Yingzhen patted the door anxiously. Zhen Dazhao was a little nervous at first, thinking that it was the police making a surprise inspection or that his enemies had come to visit. However, when he heard that it was his son Zhen Yingzhen knocking on the door, he could not help but fly into rage and said angrily, "You little bastard, your dad has become impotent. Are you knocking on my kidney? What's the matter, huh?" Zhen Yingzhen was stunned for a moment, and said in horror, "Dad, you are also impotent." "No way, isn't it because you scared me?" Zhen Dazhao frowned, and was suddenly stunned. "What? You are also impotent?" "Yes, Dad, it's bad, I am impotent. What should I do?" Zhen Yingzhen's voice was filled with tears. "I have taken 3 Viagra, but it's no use. It suddenly stopped working." Zhen Dazhao was startled, and all of a sudden he no longer had the idea of playing with a lady, and his lust dissipated. He quickly opened the door of the room and let Zhen Yingzhen in, and said anxiously, "Is it true? What's going on? I know that too, but I just don't react," Zhen Yingzhen said with a mournful look, as if his father had died. "Dad, I'm not going to be useless, am I?" Zhen Dazhao had only one son, and he was counting on him to carry on the family line. Upon hearing Zhen Yingzhen's words, a large blister immediately formed at the corner of his mouth. "Don't worry, are you sure you're not reacting?" "Yes, I'm sure," Zhen Yingzhen nodded. "Look, I'm like this now." Zhen Yingzhen, not caring about the woman in the room, immediately took off his bathrobe and showed it to Zhen Dazhao. Zhen Dazhao, a little anxious, pointed at the woman in the room and said, "Get out first. Here's your money. Don't talk about this." With that, Zhen Dazhao handed the woman a handful of cash and sent her away. The woman, knowing something was seriously wrong with his hens, didn't dare to say anything. She took the cash, nodded repeatedly, and slipped out of the room. "Yingzhen, when did this start? Were there any signs before?" Zhen Dazhao asked cautiously. "No, Dad, you know, I've been sick for a while, haven't I touched any women? But when I came here today, I found something wrong," Zhen Yingzhen said. "It was working well before. Before we came to Songshan City, I went to see a little lover of mine, then the problem occurred after you got sick? Could it be some sequelae?" Zhen Dazhao could only think of this possibility. "It's possible, Dad, let's go find Zhaoyao Wang quickly. He's a miracle worker and very powerful. He must have a good way." Zhen Yingzhen also felt that this was a possibility after hearing his father's analysis. Apart from the sequelae, there was really no other possibility. After the two of them discussed it, they quickly put on their clothes, left the bath center, and rushed to the Jelly Fuyan bar. At the powerful Floating Clouds bar, Zhao Kaibing nervously gazed at the deposit slips, then beamed with joy. "Wow, ho ha ho ha. I'm such a genius. I came up with such a brilliant idea. I never thought that idiot Zhen Yingzhen would send me 10 million in just a few days. This money is so easy." Of course, Li Shihu flattered him. Young Master Bing's method of making money is truly brilliant. Of course, the Medicine King's contribution is also indispensable. I was just helping out. If young Master Bing hadn't come up with this tampering treatment method, even my best skills wouldn't have allowed me to charge so much per patient, the Medicine King said modestly. "Well, that's right, Medicine King, Don't be so modest. You've made a huge contribution to this profit. I'll tell my father, Zhao Kaibing didn't take all the credit. He was a master at winning people over, knowing how to make them follow him wholeheartedly. Just like Zhong Fabei and the others, they were now completely devoted to him. Zhao Kaibing only needed to show some favors to gain a bunch of loyal subordinates, so why not? Furthermore, he knew clearly that even if Medicine King was the primary contributor, the Zhao family knew that he, Zhao Kaibing, was the mastermind behind the incident, and Medicine King would never take away the credit from him. Thank you, young Master Bing, Medicine King said gratefully. Medicine King began studying medicine at the age of 3 and began traveling the world at the age of 15. Back then, he practiced the same trick of treating people's illnesses, only to make them worse. However, he offended a wealthy family and was captured and nearly beaten to death. If Zhao Guangyan, the patriarch of the Zhao family, hadn't rescued him, there would be no Medicine King today. Therefore, Medicine King was very grateful to the Zhao family, feeling that his life was given by the Zhao family. Whatever the Zhao family asked him to do was natural, and since young Master Bing was Zhao Guangyan's son, he would naturally support him with all his heart. He didn't ask for anything in return, but stayed in the Zhao family out of a desire to repay his gratitude. Now that he saw Zhao Kaibing was willing to perform King Guang for him, how could he not be moved? Although he didn't care about anything, he also hoped that the people of the Zhao family would value him. However, the Zhen family father and son are rich. 10 million, wow, it's still a bit too little. It hasn't squeezed him to the limit. If we can squeeze out a little more money, it would be even better, Zhao Kaibing said with some regret. Don't worry, young Master Bing, Yao has already made some arrangements for Zhen Yingjin. I believe he will come to us soon. And then a large sum of money will fall into your pocket, the King of Medicine said with a smile. Chapter 873 Putting the blame on Lin Yi. Oh? Really? But then, will he suspect something? Zhao Kaibing was not stupid. Although he was greedy for money, he did not want to ruin his reputation. What we want is long-term benefits, not the money of Zhen Yingjin. It would be bad if they suspected that we were the ones who did it. No, my manipulation was very covert. They don't have the IQ to find out. The King of Medicine waved his hand confidently. Besides, even if they go to the hospital, they won't be able to find any flaws. That's good, as long as it doesn't involve us. Zhao Kaibing nodded with satisfaction. Of course not. Not only will it not involve us, they will send us more money soon. The King of Medicine sneered and said, Master Bing, just watch the good show of Yao. Okay, I'll just sit and wait for that stupid guy Zhen Yingjin to send the money. Zhao Kaibing nodded happily. The Medicine King was right. Not long after, Xuanyuan Yulong came running in. Master Bing, Zhen Yingjin and his son are here again, and they want to see the Medicine King. Let them in, Zhao Kaibing said, already impatient. The more he tasted the sweetness of quick wealth, the more he couldn't stop. Xuanyuan Yulong quickly led Zhen Dazhao and Zhen Yingjin and his son into the back room. As soon as they entered, Zhen Dazhao was furious and ready to make the first move. Medicine King, what disease are you treating? Why is it getting worse? You've made something that was previously healthy appear to be damaged. Zhen Dazhao, though a rough man, was also a discerning person. He knew that if he tried to attribute Zhen Yingjin's condition to a sequelae, it wouldn't be a good idea. However, to get the Medicine King to treat his son, and to save money, he had no choice but to complain. Zhen Dazhao, watch your words. Is this the place for you to be so arrogant? Even if this is your territory, you better behave yourself in front of me. Zhao Kaibing frowned unhappily, but his heart was beating fast. Could it be that Zhen Dazhao and Zhen Yingjin discovered some flaw? Zhen Dazhao's face froze. Indeed, he had been thinking about finding the King of Medicine to treat his illness, and had forgotten that this was Zhao Kaibing's territory. He didn't dare to offend Zhao Kaibing. It wasn't too difficult for the forces behind Zhao Kaibing to kill Zhen Dazhao, so Zhen Dazhao immediately put on a smiling face. Young Master Bing, don't be angry, humph, let's talk it over nicely. Don't think that you are God just because you pay to see the Medicine King. With me, customers are not God. Zhao Kaibing curled his lips, and when he saw Zhen Dazhao didn't dare to act rashly, he felt relieved. He sneered and said, if you want to see the Medicine King, we don't even accept ordinary people here. That's right, that's right. Seeing Zhao Kaibing so powerful, Zhen Dazhao didn't dare to say anything. He had to say with a bitter face, young Master Bing, Medicine King, please help me take a look at our Yingjin. Didn't I cure Zhen Yingjin's illness? What else is he seeing? Medicine King asked Zhen Dazhao, pretending to be puzzled. No, he's still sick, Zhen Dazhao said quickly. Still sick? Can't you see? His mouth and ears are no longer crooked, his hands and feet are working fine, he's a handsome young man, what's wrong with him? The Medicine King looked Zhen Yingjin up and down and said. No, it's not superficial, it's a hidden disease, Zhen Dazhao said quickly. Yingjin is impotent. The Medicine King was stunned, while Zhao Kaibing and Li Chihu on the side also opened their mouths in surprise, looking at Zhen Yingjin in disbelief. How could you be impotent? When did you find out that you were impotent? Just now, Zhen Yingjin said anxiously. Just now, my dad and I went to the bath center that Brother Chihu is in charge of. I wanted to take a hot bath to wash away the bad luck after recovering from a serious illness. Then I found a lady, but even after taking 3 Viagra pills, my lower body didn't react. Have you had this problem before? The Medicine King frowned and asked. No, if I had that problem, why would I be called Miss? Zhen Yingjin quickly shook his head. I can't defend Lin Yi over those 2 girls. Well, you're not sick, so why are you taking Viagra? And so much? The Medicine King sneered inwardly. You weren't sick before, but you have kidney deficiency. The Medicine King had already checked that out. This, Zhen Yingjin suddenly felt embarrassed and laughed dryly. It's just that your stamina isn't very strong. The Medicine King nodded, looked at Zhen Yingjin carefully, and said, okay, hold out your hand, and I'll take your pulse. Yes, Zhen Yingjin quickly held out his hand to the Medicine King, who pretended to take his pulse. In reality, Zhen Yingjin's condition was his fault, so he didn't need to feel his pulse at all. He was just pretending to do it for the Zhen father and son. After a long while, the Medicine King's brows slowly furrowed, and he remained silent, his eyes closed, deep in thought. This frightened the Zhen father and son. Could he be seriously ill? Zhen Dazhao was counting on Zhen Yingjin to carry on his family line, but now he's become a cripple. What will he do in the future? Won't he be without descendants? Zhen Yingjin hadn't thought that far ahead, but he was also very scared. After all, he wouldn't be able to play with women anymore, and life would lose a lot of its fun. You're not sick. After a long while, the Medicine King finally uttered these 3 words. Not sick. Zhen Dazhao and Zhen Yingjin, father and son, suddenly widened their eyes and looked at the Medicine King in disbelief. Zhen Yingjin screamed, how can I not be sick? This is the fact. Medicine King, if you don't believe me, I'll take off my pants and show you. That's not necessary. The Medicine King waved his hand. I said you're not sick because you really are not, but you said you're impotent, and that's a fact. Oh? How do you explain that? Zhen Yingjin was a little confused. Your impotence is not a disease, but someone has done something to you. The King of Medicine sighed, looked at Zhen Yingjin with some sympathy and said, I didn't expect that Lin Yi is so vicious. Not only did he create some diseases on the surface for you, but he also turned you into a disabled person in secret. His intentions are sinister and vicious. Lin Yi again. When Zhen Yingjin heard that this was also the root of the trouble left by Lin Yi, he immediately became angry. Dad, this Lin Yi is so hateful, I want to kill him. Zhen Dazhao was also very angry. He didn't expect Lin Yi to be so bad and leave such a root of disease for his son. He was also furious. Yingjin, don't worry, I will definitely vent your anger for you. Okay, do you want to vent your anger on Lin Yi, or do you want to see a doctor first? The King of Medicine frowned and asked, pretending to be displeased. But in fact he was already very happy in his heart. Chapter 874. The price is a bit low. Zhao Kaibing and Lin Yi have a grudge. If he can transfer this hatred to Zhen Dazhao and Zhen Yingjin, father and son, and let them deal with Lin Yi, then why not do it? The Medicine King felt that this trick really killed 2 birds with 1 stone. When the time comes, the young soldier will praise him again. See a doctor, of course, see a doctor first, Zhen Yingjin said quickly. Medicine King, then, can my illness be cured? Yes, it can, but it's difficult. The Medicine King sighed. For me, the Medicine King, there is naturally no disease that cannot be cured, but the degree of difficulty is different. When I treated your illness before, I wasted a lot of true energy. Now your illness is not small, and it also requires the consumption of true energy. Medicine King, don't worry, I won't reduce the consultation fee for you. How much money do you need? Just tell me, Zhen Dazhao said quickly when he heard that his son could still be saved. Well, you'd have to ask young Master Bing. If I give you all my key, I won't be able to treat other patients if they come in, and the losses would be far greater than a few, the Medicine King said with some embarrassment. How about this for now? How about waiting until my ki is fully restored before treating Yingjin? That way, the consultation fee will be cheaper. How long will that take? Zhen Dazhao was truly broke. He had come to Songshan City with 50 million to invest in a gambling ship, but before he'd even invested, he'd already spent over 10 million on his son's treatment. Hearing the Medicine King's tone, he hesitated, realizing that treating his son's current illness would cost significantly more than before. If waiting a while would save him money, what harm would there be in waiting? 3 to 5 years, the Medicine King said calmly. Huh? Zhen Yingjin and Zhen Dazhao were immediately stunned, looking at each other in bewilderment. 3 to 5 years? Zhen Dazhao thought the so-called wait would only take a few days or a month at most, but he didn't expect it to be 3 to 5 years? This is too long, right? Zhen Yingjin couldn't wait any longer. What if something else went wrong or the Medicine King couldn't be found? Wouldn't he be a eunuch for the rest of his life? Thinking of this, Zhen Yingjin couldn't help but look at Zhen Dazhao for help. Zhen Dazhao also thought of this. How could he wait? If he waited any longer, what if something else went wrong? Then his Zhen family would be extinct. Zhen Dazhao gritted his teeth and asked, Young Master Bing, the consultation fee is not a problem. As long as we can cure Yingjin's illness, the price is not a problem. This, young Master Bing hesitated and said with some embarrassment, Hey, it's not that I don't want to treat you, it's just that life has a price, but ki is priceless. After hearing what young Master Bing said, Zhen Dazhao wanted to curse. What kind of theory is this? Life has a price, but ki is priceless. However, Zhen Dazhao couldn't get angry, so he could only suppress his anger and asked, It's okay, just say it, at least 30 million, right? Zhao Kaibing said calmly. Huh? Zhen Dazhao was really dumbfounded when he heard the price. Although he had expected the price of this treatment to be high, he didn't expect it to be so high. 30 million, that was all the money he had accumulated bit by bit in the East China Sea, and it was gone just like that? Young Master Bing, this price. The Medicine King was a little embarrassed when he heard this price. Zhen Dazhao was immediately overjoyed when he heard what the Medicine King said. It seemed that the Medicine King also thought the price was a bit high and wanted to speak up for him. The Medicine King was really a good man. So he quickly agreed, yes, this price is really it's a bit low. The Medicine King followed up, my true energy is priceless. Zhen Dazhao almost vomited blood and died when he heard what the Medicine King said. So the Medicine King thought the price was too low, not too high? He was so foolish as to agree with him. How foolish. Oh? Zhen Dazhao, you think so too? It seems I'm really kind, asking for such a low price. Zhao Kaibing shook his head with a hint of self-mockery. In that case, you can add a little more. Well, hey, haha, I'm a little tight on cash lately. 30 million is 30 million, Zhen Dazhao gritted his teeth and agreed to the price of 30 million. How could he dare not agree? If he didn't agree, it might become 40 million in a moment. Well, since 30 million is 30 million, I've already said it. Medicine King, is that the price? What do you think? Zhao Kaibing looked at the Medicine King and asked. Okay, whatever young Master Bing says, that's what it is. The Medicine King nodded. Thank you, young Master Bing. I'll go get the money now, Zhen Dazhao said. Then my son Yingjin and I will take our leave. We'll come back when we have enough money. Dad, how about you go get the money and I stay here to get treatment? Zhen Yingjin didn't understand why his father asked him to go too. What should we do? How can you let the Medicine King treat you without paying? You are so ignorant. Zhen Dazhao glared at Zhen Yingjin and said. Zhen Yingjin had no choice but to follow his father out of the bar. He asked in a strange tone, Dad, why did you pull me out here? It would be better to let me treat the disease first to avoid more trouble. We came in a hurry before and thought it was a sequelae, but now it seems that it is not a sequelae, so I think, should we go to the hospital to check it out? What if the hospital can also treat it? Would we not waste this money? Zhen Dazhao is not stupid, he still has some IQ. That's right, I was anxious. Zhen Yingjin nodded repeatedly when he heard that this was indeed the case. Yes, there are so many things to do with this 30 million. If it is used to treat illnesses, it really hurts. The father and son discussed it and stopped a car and rushed to the hospital. However, they went to the First People's Hospital, the men's specialty hospital, and so on, but in the end, they couldn't find anything. The Medicine King was right about his illness. There was no illness in the first place, so what could the hospital find? This was completely the Medicine King's secret manipulation. The bell must be untied by the person who tied it. How could others know the Medicine King's manipulation? After coming out of the hospital, the Zhen family father and son completely believed what the King of Medicine said. Zhen Dazhao sighed. It seems that you really are not sick. It was that Lin Yi who did something to you. Even these big hospitals say that you are not sick. It seems that you have to find the King of Medicine for treatment, Lin Yi. I must tear you into pieces. Zhen Yingjin was so angry that he gritted his teeth. He just kicked an old lady he had never met. The old lady had nothing to do with Lin Yi. Lin Yi actually treated him so cruelly. What deep hatred did he have with him that he treated him like this? Chapter 875 Revenge Plan. Yingjin, you don't need me to tell you. I can't let this Lin Yi go. He's caused me to lose 40 million. Is my money so easy to lose? I'll definitely put this debt on Lin Yi, Zhen Dazhao sneered and said viciously. He was furious. Who was he, Zhen Dazhao? When had he ever suffered such humiliation? By the way, Dad, I heard that Chu Mengyao's family is very rich. Lin Yi is her bodyguard. Why don't we start with Chu Mengyao and get her to pay for it? Zhen Yingjin immediately set his sights on Chu Mengyao. He knew a little about Lin Yi from Zhao Kaibing. Of course, Zhen Yingjin didn't know that Zhao Kaibing had deliberately revealed this to him, hoping to use Zhen Yingjin as a cannon fodder. I know. I've already had someone investigate. Pengzhan Group is very famous in the province. Zhen Dazhao had already set his sights on Chu Pengzhan. He had a clear idea. Since it was your daughter and my son who ended up like this, who would pay for the medical expenses if not you? Not only do you have to pay for the medical expenses, but you also have to give some compensation. Yet, Zhen Yingjin felt relieved when he heard that his father was also intent on causing trouble for Chu Mengyao. But, that Lin Yi must die? Killing Lin Yi won't be easy. I heard he's an expert at the early stage of the Xuan rank, and Li Fu, Chu Pengzhan's companion, is also an expert at the peak of the late Wang rank. It will be very difficult for us to touch them. Zhen Dazhao had gathered some of this information through investigation, but the majority came from Zhao Kaibing. Well, what's the use of those experts? Don't we have guns? No matter how powerful he is, can he be invulnerable? Zhen Yingjin said with disdain. Dad, where are those musketeers under your command who are doing no-cost business on the high seas? Have them come back and kill Lin Yi. The Zhen family may have some open businesses in the East China Sea, but their most profitable ones are the no-cost ones. The Zhen family maintains a pirate group codenamed the Musketeers that specializes in robbing cargo ships on the high seas, providing the Zhen family with a huge fortune every year. Of course, this business wasn't the Zhen family's own. With their financial resources, they couldn't afford such a large business. Zhen Dazhao was running this business for a distant relative of his. That distant relative took the lion's share, while Zhen Dazhao only took 20%. Naive? You're going to get the musketeers from the city and give Lin Yi a blast? Aren't you just waiting for the police to wipe out our Zhen family? Zhen Dazhao glared at Zhen Yingjin and said angrily, though these cultivators are afraid of guns, a sneak attack with 1 or 2 guns won't hit them. They're too fast. The only way to kill them is by firing a group of people at once, using a random attack strategy. However, unless we are in a deserted area, if such a large-scale gunfight breaks out in the city, I'll be arrested tomorrow as the leader of a terrorist organization. I'm sorry, Dad. I didn't think it through. Zhen Yingjin had previously thought that owning his family's musketeers was something very impressive, as if he had nothing to fear. But now, after hearing his father's words, he realized that he had been taking things for granted. HMPH, but your suggestion is a good one. I've got a rough plan for dealing with them. A sinister glint flashed in Zhen Dazhao's eyes. Let's go find the Medicine King for treatment. Dad, how are you going to deal with them? Zhen Yingjin seemed a little impatient. I'm going to ask your 4th uncle for help and ask him to send his experts to help, Zhen Dazhao said. This 4th uncle was Zhen Dazhao's partner. 80% of the maritime business belonged to him, and Zhen Dazhao was working for him. Oh? Is it Ma Zhu, who's with 4th uncle? Zhen Yingjin asked hurriedly. Isn't he also a Xuan-level expert? Yes, back when we were fighting for business at sea, your 4th uncle sent him to assist me. Did you see how skilled he was? Zhen Dazhao seemed to be recalling something earlier. With 1 kick, he killed the man alive. His head flew off. Can he handle Lin Yi? Zhen Yingjin had no particular regard for cultivators or warriors. He always felt they were no match for guns and cannons, but according to his father, large-scale gunfire wasn't feasible in the city. Of course, Zhen Dazhao said. He's a mid-stage 1-level external martial arts expert. Zhao Kaibing said Lin Yi is only in the early stage 1 level. He can certainly handle him. Zhen Dazhao wasn't entirely clear on the difference between external and internal martial arts, but he felt that a mid-stage 1-level expert was definitely more powerful than an early stage 1-level expert. Then let him just kill Lin Yi? That wouldn't be satisfying. Zhen Yingjin felt that killing Lin Yi outright was a bit too easy for him. Of course we can't kill him directly. Zhen Dazhao shook his head. What we have to do is to let Ma Zhu kidnap Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu. His opponent is only Li Fu. As long as Li Fu is defeated and Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu are captured, that's it. With the hostages in hand, we can threaten Chu Pengzhan to exchange for a ransom. Of course, we can designate Lin Yi to deliver the ransom to Desolate Mountain and let the musketeer shoot him to death. Great. Not only can we get a lot of money, but we can also get revenge. Zhen Yingjin's eyes lit up after hearing his father's words. Okay, it's settled, but I have to cure my illness first. Chu Mengyao and Chen Yushu, I will definitely kill these two girls. Ha ha ha, ha ha ha. Zhen Dazhao also laughed with his son, and a plan of revenge was formed. In the powerful floating cloud bar, Zhao Kaibing said a little unhappy. What did Zhen Dazhao take Zhen Yingjin for? He doesn't want to be treated? Why hasn't he come back for so long? No, I guess Zhen Dazhao wants to take Zhen Yingjin to the hospital to confirm whether he is sick or not. The king of medicine saw through Zhen Dazhao's intention. Oh? Then can the hospital really tell? Zhao Kaibing asked, stunned. Young Master Bing, do you still not trust the tricks done by me, the king of medicine? Don't worry, they will be back soon, the king of medicine said. Young Master Bing, you are sure to make a profit from this, huh? Then I'm relieved, Zhao Kaibing nodded. It's really fast to make money like this, but there are not many such fat sheep patients. Otherwise, why would I make money in real estate? Such patients are naturally hard to come by, the king of medicine said. By the way, young Master Bing, this time, we cured his impotence. Should we make him suffer from some more problems? End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.